Warning of the following audio may contain coarse language and other materials that may not be suitable for a younger audience. The opinions expressed in this audio are solely those of the speakers involved. These conversations may contain spoilers for current media such as games, comics, movies, television shows, and more. Growing Geeks makes no claim to ownership of the various media discussed, simply the opinions expressed. Listener discretion is advised.
And I got one of these in the background playing audio. I can't tell which one. Hey, I can hear good music this week. There it is. Yo.
Hey.
Yo.
What up?
We are Grown Geeks. This is Weigh In Wednesday. You are awesome for being here. Got another Wednesday.
Yeah.
The day before we're going to do our little meet and greet, little get together. For those who want to come out, hang out with us for a little bit, we are going to go see Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, buddy. This is
Studio Lounge. This is a dinner theater, right?
Yeah, movie tavern. Yeah, yep.
Movie tavern. So I might have just made up a place, movie studio lounge. I don't know where I was. But yeah, it's a dinner and a meal.
Yep.
Get a meal, enjoy the show. So yeah. And you know, I have to say, like, initially, there's a part of me that's like, you know, was Five Nights at Freddy's, was that the movie? But that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the
movie. And it's like I've made it a point to like see more trailers and
nom.
You know, try to be interested. Right, I got my noms.
Oh, you know what?
I have chips.
Oh, you know what?
And it's like, you know, I normally, because of my mic, you know, my mic picks up everything because, like, okay, I'm way over here, like.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's crisp. Ooh.
So it's like I don't snack while we're on the show. Because it's gonna get picked up and it's gonna be weird. And I don't wanna do that. But you can get a good meal when we go see Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And it will be okay to have that conversation and eat and see this movie. Now, I was thinking I was probably going to find a YouTube video and, you know, dive down a rabbit hole and just like, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe the movie's going to give me enough of the story they want me to have.
Oh yeah, no, this series is like lore rich. There's so much lore.
Right. See, and
everything has a meaning.
And of course, my thought being that if I do a YouTube video and I do like a complete history of Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, it'll be like a 3-hour video or something. I'll watch it in the background kind of thing. You know, it'll be like a part one.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole series, week-long show. But even then I was like, do I want to know something or do I want to go in fresh since I only know surface level?
The best way is to go in fresh.
That way I can kind of go in with, you know, like Saturday Night Live says, go in with lowered expectations. and just allow them to tell me the story.
We can't hear you. No.
I just bought this headset. It's already messing up stuff.
You have a little technical difficulty over there.
Is that working now?
There it is. Yeah.
Yep. There you are.
It switched. It keeps switching me automatically back to this piece of crap. Don't buy these, by the way. This is my second pair. I just got them. This is my old pair. And these are only about a year old. like a year and a half, maybe, and they've been giving me issues since about 6 months in when I got them. These are immediately giving me problems. Yeah, don't
And
get these.
what brand?
These are Razor.
Ooh, yeah.
These are the
I'm,
Razor Kraken kitty ear edition in the whatever they call the pink. It's pink. Just call it pink. I don't know why you got to call it. I think it's quartz. There it is. Quartz. Okay. This is coming from me, who has lots of Razor products. I have lots
I
of
mean,
Razor products.
I mean, it's all good. The keyboard here,
I have a
you know,
keyboard in the other room.
but I mean, if they make a bad product, I mean, they can make a lot of good stuff, and one of the items can be bad. There's nothing. I mean,
It just pisses me off because it's these.
it's
Like,
probably just the one with the ears, the cute ones that you like. If you got some crappy, bulky,
I guarantee you the pink ones that don't have the ears work fine.
okay, right.
You can buy the ears separately.
We'll see. Maybe then that would be get the ones
look
without the
stupid.
ears, and then you can have just like a separate little headband with ears on. Voila.
Well, but these light up.
Or they can
That
make
being
a
said,
product that wasn't shitty.
these don't light up properly because a new issue I'm having with these I didn't have with my old ones. They don't change from white.
So they
Everything
just
else
one
is
color.
cycling through colors. Like, I don't know, it's cycling through colors. You probably can't see it, but
Yeah, that's kind of what mine. And for the cycling, for those who don't know, let me see. Let me turn that light off for just a moment. Boom. Wow, look at that! I disappeared. So when she refers to the cycling,
the colors should cycle through. In fact, it's not just normal cycling. I have it as the fire thing, so I know how to use the program.
let's see. And so now it went from
It's
blue, and
so
now it's purplish, and then it's going to go reddish, and so and it's pretty cool. And a lot of times, like you said, Razer has like software that you have to install, and you can customize it and do special things with it. And the keyboard I have, it has like a special control function. It's a function key. Then I can specifically change how it scrolls.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm sorry that you were having trouble with the headphones. That sucks because I do know how frustrating that can be to have something not working as it should. Let me get this video caught up. Are we caught up? That one's not caught up. That one's caught up. This one.
Oh, especially because I really don't have headset buying money. And
Right, they need to get on it and make a product that doesn't,
yeah,
works right.
I might be returning these and getting something else.
There you go. You know what? If you find some kitty ear, like a kitty ear headband, and I'm all in for the
headbands. Hurt my head. They're too tight.
If you can find like a clip-on ear attachment for your headphones,
like I said, they have ones that you can slip on your headphones.
See, then
like
maybe
Razer makes them.
Oh, Razer makes them also. You trust that?
The straps may break. I don't know.
Right, it won't cycle through the colors. Right, it'll just. So, yeah, I didn't have. Oh, my mic making humming.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was my shitty headset.
No, I think that's. I know sometimes when I'm talking to Jeff, if I move my microphone a certain way, it's like he can't hear anything anymore. So I did not have anything specific to talk about, but I did have an interesting conversation earlier. Was talking with my cousin, and he just called me. He lives up in Philly, and we were just chit-chatting, powwowing. And of course, he sees me. He was like, "Yeah, man, it's Wednesday, right? So you're doing your show now." I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a show." He's like, "What are you going to be talking about?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't know. I mean, you're giving me a couple ideas, some things we could talk about." And one of the things came up was kind of like no gatekeeping, and of course, it was he was saying no geek shaming is how he made reference to it. No geek shaming, and so he's a twin, and the other brother, the twin, he's very much into geek culture, and he knows about it. He's up on the movies and Marvel and Star Wars, the whole bit. And the cousin I was speaking with, he, he watches some of it, but he's like super casual. You know what I'm saying? If he catches it, he catches it. No big deal. So as he was trying to watch like one of the more recent, like he was trying to watch Ashoka and completely lost. Like, who is this character? Who is that person? Why this? Why that? And he brought up a very interesting point that, you know, I just kind of take for granted because I've watched so many Star Wars and Star Trek and, just movies like, Serenity and Firefly, shows where people exist in space and there are other races and other species and other alien creatures. And, it is normal for people to be different. And so they've gone beyond the trivialities of, race, because you're dealing with things on a special level.
Except for in Mass Effect. Yeah, the space races in Mass Effect.
There are space races in Mass Effect, yes. And I mean, even in like Star Trek, you know what I'm saying? There's still like some species, some race of aliens where people are like, watch out for them, and they have a reputation. Like Klingons are Klingons, and Vulcans are Vulcans, and people act accordingly because it's that particular species or that particular race. So I mean, it still exists, but on the whole, they do a good job of depicting, a little bit of betterness where they don't focus in on those types of things. So when I see something like he pointed out in Star Wars, it does not cross my mind to question it. I just accept it. But maybe we should question it. We're going to talk about it. He was trying to figure out, first off, he thought Ashoka and...
Yeah, wait, what is that noise?
The click?
Yeah. It's very loud.
That is me.
Oh.
That's why I don't have I don't have...
I thought I was going crazy
fidget,
for a minute.
and I don't know where my fidget is right now.
So I found just both looking very concerned.
Yeah, I was like,
what?
wait.
I apologize. I did not realize.
Is someone doing something? Did Jordan have a special friend come over? Like,
I did not realize the click was so.
That was
so thunderous.
That mic is really good.
See, and that's why I don't eat when I'm on show, because like I've literally been like, people were in the kitchen 2 rooms over having a conversation, and it was like, what is that sound? That's really loud. And it was the TV on, and it's like, okay, so now when I record, I have to yell through the house one time going live, because they know that all sound gets picked up. So hopefully I find my fidget here in a moment, but it'll be okay, because I don't have anything else I can mess with that's not going to make noise.
Real quick, I don't have to say it right now, but I'm just letting you know so we can circle back around. I remember what I was saying whenever my mic wasn't working, and then we got off the topic whenever we came in. But because we were talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, I'm like, wait, I was talking about something. What was that?
Right. Well, we'll definitely circle back to Five Nights, because we are going to talk about the outing tomorrow at the movie tavern. And if you want to join and you want to be a part of that, click that QR code there in the corner, right there by Dave, and he will direct you to our group. You can find all of the wonderful places that we are on, all of our socials and stuff, and join our Facebook group, because our Facebook group is where a majority of our content lies, and where you can always catch us. What up? We got Jeffrey's in the chat tonight. Oh, but he's letting us know that he will probably be hopping on. I
was about to say, you goddamn coward.
Nah,
look, I'm not a real shark. I just drink Coca-Cola.
Okay, so not a real shark.
No.
Okay. Good to know. That's
so you don't have to be scared. You can join us.
I don't know why this fan is on my desk. My wife's fan is right here at my desk. She took my mouse pad earlier, and so now I have to buy her a mouse pad, because she's getting all these special doodads for her computer, because she's back to working at home. Yeah, I didn't make any notes. My ADD is running rampant tonight, so y'all got to help me out. So we got to come back to Five Nights at Freddy. But I was having a conversation with the cousin, and he was pointing out, as he was trying to watch Ahsoka, he was asking about, as he put it, he was like, Ahsoka and the green girl. they're the same, right? And I was like, well, no, actually, they're different species. And actually, I made the mistake of saying they were different races. And he was like, so they're the same species but different race. Like she's orange and she's green. I was like, no, they're like, okay, so they're different species altogether. And I was like, well, would it be species? Because they're both humanoid. So like, how would that go? And then we went through like, okay, let's see, class, order, genus, phylum. We were going through the whole breakdown, and it was like, okay, see, now you're asking the tough questions. If they're both, it's like, is humanoid, where would that fall? Is that just an adjective, or would that actually be a classification? Like a scientific classification. But after we broke it down, and I was looking, I was like, okay, so they are in fact different species according to Wikipedia. And we have the Twi'lek, which is what Hera is, and the Torgruta, which is what Ahsoka is. But then he pointed out that, and of course, it was just funny to me because he was like, the green lady. I was like, Hera. And every time he did it, I kept correcting him. But it was like subconsciously, when you're just having a conversation with people saying it wrong, and you're like, no, but I've said it 3 times now. You should remember and just say Hera. But he keeps saying the green one, and I'm like, bro, it's Hera. It's not hard. Hera. Just say Hera. Say the general. And even so, he was like, okay, so the green one. So she has a human son. And I was like, well, technically, no, he's not. I guess he would be half human because his father was human. That was Kanan Jarrus. He was a human. And I was like, well, technically, like if he lives on any other planet, he would be of that planet. Like he would be an Earthling. That would be how they would classify that human. Or, like he'd be a Martian if he was born on Mars, that sort of thing. Just like a person who's born on this continent or that continent, etc. Like, but yeah, he would still be a human. And he was like, okay, so can anybody have sex with a human and have a human baby? And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not invested enough to know the science behind it. I couldn't
see now that's a good point to make there. Like,
right. And that was
if
like,
they're different species altogether, it's like how we know here it's difficult to cross species.
right.
Why should it be any kind of exception when we're going off of our own planet?
I mean, why is it just magically that
It works
like,
out.
And even then I would still think that like, even in humanoid form, there could still be differences. Humanoid would just be like walking upright on 2 legs and having, you could still have like multiple appendages, walk upright and still be considered humanoid.
As long as you're bipedal.
Right. And that's like I said, as long as you're exactly, long as you're bipedal, you walk upright on 2 legs, that's considered humanoid. But then you get into like some of the internals, and it's like, is everything in the same space, in the same place?
What if they have more hearts than us?
Or
don't use a heart at all? And then the parts mix where you have some human parts that require a heart, but you're not born with a heart because you're mixed with a different species that doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I had to like take a moment to be like, you know what, you were asking the tough questions. That absolutely is a thing. Okay, that is.
David, you like Mass Effect? Explain.
That is a fair question, and that was actually
Look.
Wait a minute, and I told him, I was like, there is one. The only way that I can think to explain it is like the character Liara from Mass Effect. Like that race can breed with anybody.
It's not a hard concept, really.
Well, isn't it mind sex for them?
It's not look.
So that's pretty easy to breed with anyone if it's mind sex.
Yes, basically yes.
Right.
Like the external stimuli is for literally the other person, not the Asari. Right. They get the DNA that they need from that, and they like,
they know they've had to learn how to raise up everyone to survive.
It's not hard when you're just a sexy blue alien.
Right, but it's also interesting to note that despite getting donor DNA from everywhere or from anyone, they always create more Asari.
Yep.
And so that's not quite the loophole, but that's the difference there, as opposed to why do we have a green-haired humanoid kid? You know what I'm saying? He's half Twi'lek, half human. and it's like we have to like the fact that he has green hair is how we know that that's Sabine's kid. Like he could have been humanoid and had green skin, and I would have gone for it a little bit more. Like the more he made me think about it, the more I started questioning it, and it was like, wait a minute, so why does he only have green hair? Because he could have just dyed. That could have been like a phase, and he was like, oh, I want to dye my hair, and it could be green today, and it could be a different color a week from now because he doesn't like green anymore. But if they had made him humanoid, half human, made him like if he had just been a green-skinned human without the appendages that grow from a Twi'lek's head, then okay. I think that would probably be a more clear indication that he is half Twi'lek as opposed to just giving him green hair.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like that's
Now, did they commit? Did they give him green eyebrows too? Because that could really sell it.
I have to look. I cannot recall at this moment.
Because if he doesn't, then it doesn't really work all that well.
You know what? That is absolutely right. I have to look at that because Ahsoka TV series. Let's see. So we would want to look at episode like 5, I think. Just trying to think of the episode where he might have been on. Let's see, where he was kind of a
like,
featured
with a TV show.
Well, he's Jason Syndulla, and I'm just trying to find like an episode that features him heavily. So if I look up Jason Syndulla, then maybe they will show images of him.
And then just type in like TV show after it, so it'll pull the TV show version.
Jason Syndulla images. No, it does not appear that he has. Wait.
It looks even more than like he just went through a phase.
Right. I mean, it's a damn good dye job. I'll say that. Like, it looks really good. But yeah, like it is.
That's half-assed.
It's unfortunate. Like they could have, and even at the animated versions. And God, what is this from? You know what? Let me share on the creepiness because I'm like, what is this? This looks weird. Present, share screen. Let me pull this one separate, close that all together. Don't know what was up on that. There we go. Not sharing my tabs. Now I've got a YouTube death battle up in the background I was watching. Okay,
yeah,
so
he's got green eyebrows.
Yeah.
See, right. This is the animated, but here,
nope. It looks like he just dyed his hair.
Yeah, see, and it's like that is clearly.
Maybe they thought they could get away with it because of the dark eyebrows potentially just blending in, and people not even thinking about it.
Right,
but see, they don't know me. I'm crazy. And I noticed lots of details that no one should notice.
See, that's why he's going with his green hair. He's rebelling. I love it.
You got a small chuckle out of David.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually pissed off at Mortal Kombat now. Oh my god.
Something happening with the fight game?
God.
Or is it just like that particular match?
No. Okay. I mean, go ahead and finish up your guys' conversation. I don't want to hijack. I was just scrolling while I was waiting.
No, so that we had that conversation. Like I said, I actually tried to explain using Liara as an example, but given that, you know, like we just determined, like she only creates other, like the Asari only create other Asari, even though like
and they're very Asari about it.
This is the fun special.
It's really not that hard if you think about it. It's just like everybody, like every race can breed with each other, and Asari can breed with literally everything. It's not hard. I don't
Right.
know.
No. Now with Asari, that's fine. Like that's,
Yeah.
but that's also like, that's great for Mass Effect. And that makes sense over there.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at a situation like this, where here we have, Mr. Jason Sindula, we have the green-haired kid, and it's like, to a non-geek who, that's a glaring thing for him. Like, he's like, how she got a human son? Like, why he doesn't have the things on his head? And I'm like, well, he's not a well, I guess he's half Twi'lek. You know what? He doesn't have anything. He ain't got no stumps, no nubs, nothing. and then of course I got, he was asking like, Ahsoka has 3, and I was like, well, she's not a Twi'lek. And he was like, well, what is she? And like I said, it was an interesting conversation, but of course with him, he got me to see it from a different perspective. And it was like, that was just something that I had always kind of taken for granted and never really paid much attention to. And it was, it's just fine because there's all these different races, and, and it's kind of like with the universal translator in Star Trek. Like, how does everybody understand everybody? And in Star Wars, it's like, they never really explain how people can talk to droids. Like, I don't hear binary. And yet it's like, now if everybody has everybody has a microchip implanted at birth so that they have a universal translator. Okay, cool. But then there's other times where people are like, you can understand that, you can, so it's like, clearly not everybody can do it. And it's kind of like, we've never gotten an explanation for that. And it that bothers me. Now, I mean, now that it's been pointed out to me, that does bother me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And again, just something I never really thought about, kind of overlooked it. It was fine. And now my cousin got me sitting here questioning stuff like, well, wait, yeah, how do they understand? And why can they? Oh yeah. See, I can imagine that there are, I saw something, I forget where I saw the joke, but it was like you may be entitled to compensation if the Enterprise came to visit your planet and Kirk disappeared shortly thereafter. And they were like, oh yeah, you might be entitled to compensation. And basically like Kirk running from all his child support payments because he's just been planting little Kirk seeds all over the galaxy.
Kirk seeds. Don't say that. I don't like that. It makes me uncomfy.
And I mean, it was like, since Captain Kirk is out there being Captain Kirk, I thought it was a humorous little little skit they were doing and they were showing. And of course it had like, one of the first people they popped up was the Green Woman, because of course that's like a big thing. And that was probably like, I think that's probably one of the standout moments in the Star Trek franchise, is seeing Captain Kirk. Like Captain Kirk broke all kind of barriers and boundaries. He kissed a green girl on screen. He kissed a black girl on screen. Kirk was like, he was a madman, just going wild in his time. You kind of start to wonder, like, when you see these future, Neo Tokyo-esque societies, these future societies, it's like, it's always, everybody's they've become so progressive, and they've gotten past all of the little details. And now it's just like, oh yeah, well, this person and that person together, and it could be this race, that race. Because even in Guardians of the Galaxy, they touched on it there, because like first you see Star-Lord, and of course he's like trying to remember the one young lady's name, and she's got like the bright pink skin. He flirts with any and everybody. Again, seems like as long as they're humanoid. But it's like, when you get towards the end and you see what's the one comedian? He's on the Nova Corps, and he's like, I want to thank you. You saved my family. Then you see that family and you're like, oh yeah, he is in outer space. Like, huh. Okay, well, yeah, that's how he does. Even though, again, he looks like a human, you just take for granted. And of course, as a human watching the show, you just forget that like all of these other people are like, they're the different one. You know, the humans that are out there, they're the different one. Seeing somebody that looks like Yondu, that's normal. That's what's supposed to be. Peter Quill, the human, he's the anomaly out here because he's the Earthling. And so the planet Risa. That, you know what? The freaky helmet. Yeah, they would probably put on the freaky helmets, and it's still better than having to deal with the 3 seashells. So, you know, the helmets from Demolition Man. It's funny because like when you think about some of the stuff that you see in movies, they make these small little predictions and then you start to see some of that coming true. Like the corporation Arby's owns like so many other restaurants. That's how Arby's stay open, because they own all these other places. Because I don't think I've ever seen a busy Arby's. But Arby's has good food.
David, what is this you sent me?
Somebody got into a fight broke out in the Five Nights at Freddy's early preview.
What?
Is that what Jordan sent?
Yeah.
Oh no, Jordan sent something else.
No, that was something else. No, I was scrolling on Twitter and just saw that.
So wait, there's something's happening over at Five Nights?
No, it's there was a early viewing of it, and apparently at the end of the movie a fight broke out.
Wow.
Yeah, I see the credits rolling in the background. Oh, these people are punching.
Yeah, they scrapping. They scrapping. Hold on, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Hold on 1 second. Oh no.
Are we gonna have to, David? Are we gonna have to scrap?
You gonna get to the car? I'm gonna scrap.
Okay.
I was like, I wasn't ready to scrap, but I mean, if it comes down to it,
I'll be in a dress. I'd rather not.
I'm gonna put my boxing gloves in my suit, just in case. Just in case I got hit with a foul.
I have to say though, I love
Freddie ready to deck.
Yes, sir.
The person holding the phone up so that they have adequate light to see what they're hitting. That's probably the best part of that. And you know what's funny? Like I used to go to a lot of early screenings, and a lot of the screenings that I would go to would always be on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. So now I don't get to go to as many screenings because our show is on Wednesdays. And so
like that whole video, like I had so many questions, but then it got slimmed down to 2.
Oh, so this feels like a good segue, by the way, to Five Nights at Freddy's. So
yeah. So the first question I had is like, what theory were y'all discussing that got y'all so heated? But then I was like, what happens in the movie that got people so heated? I am confused, intrigued, and terrified.
So
now I'm looking forward. Now I am looking a little bit more forward to the movie. I want to know.
I know
they have been arguing about.
You were asking before whether or not it's something you should just like raw dog, or you should like,
now see that
look up some stuff about it, right?
just hop right on in there.
Just get in there.
No preparation.
Yeah, just go.
No protection. Just get right up in there.
I would say the way that these kinds of movies are based on franchises, things like that, whether it's a book or whatever, typically are made for all people to enjoy, people who know everything and people who are just now getting into it. So it should be made for whoever just to jump straight into it.
Oh, okay.
That's my theory, at least.
It's a story, you sticking to it?
Yes. But yeah, that's crazy. We got our costumes finished. Well, I have to finish my beak for Chica, but I fixed David's because his hat was coming off. I had to sew it back on. He needs his hat.
See, now what's interesting is, of course, I was on a website that has a very popular I won't say very popular. They have some pretty good clearance stuff, and I literally shopped them for their clearance. Um, I was on this website and I was looking through, and they had a ton of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I feel very confidently that like I have a Five Nights at Freddy's shirt somewhere. For the life of me, can't find it. And I'm thinking at one point, like because I'm always collecting T-shirts, and like every time I turn around, I bought like 3 or 4 new T-shirts. I do have to like the wife does occasionally make me purge. I think I'm limited to I'm limited to like 100 T-shirts at any given time. So once I start getting too far over,
don't let me forget. We need to find one of the cupcake plushes so I can take it with me as a prop.
I got you.
I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I should like see if I can find a prop cupcake for my Chica costume. And I'm like, wait, I own like 3 plushes, including just the original one. I don't have like the whatever fancy one. I don't think one came out for the whatever the one that just came out.
I know at one point, Five Nights at Freddy's plushes and toys and merch was like everywhere. It was it was irritatingly available for me.
David, should I just bring the exotic butters?
Sure. Look at Sam. He's like, what?
That's my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's plush. It's the exotic butters.
Exotic butters.
Yeah, and guess what?
Butters.
Guess what? It is actually important to the plot.
It is.
Wow.
A basket of exotic butters.
For it.
That just sounds
Exhausting.
right. It just sounds not right.
But
it sounds exotic.
It does.
Like,
it does.
It's one of those. It's one of those series where I'm just like, I'm so fucking tired of hearing about it, but I'm just like,
okay.
But I gotta know. I just gotta know though, right? Because like I have not finished a Five Nights at Freddy's game yet, right? Like at all. But so the lore runneth deep. That I can just watch like how many MatPat fucking videos does he have on?
I don't fucking know, like 20.
It's more
at
than
least
20. It's more than
at
20.
least. Well, this game is almost 10 years old. So
and we still talking about Purple Guy. We still saying Purple Guy.
It might actually be 10 years old.
Yeah.
So let me read to you a little bit about the exotic butters.
Oh boy.
A quote from the game it's from, which is Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, which is the 3rd one.
Okay.
Thank you for selecting exotic butters. That's a quote from what is used in the game. Exotic butters, also known as exotic margarine, is an unusual item found in it's a few games. It was introduced in sister location, and it just kind of kept making repeat appearances. It is literally just food, right? It's a white and gray gift basket filled with sticks of butter with a little ribbon on it. David,
where's the twist? What's the twist?
So, it was an exotic. It was just a random out of place item that was given to Michael Afton as a reward for completing one of the night shifts that you do for Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental, which is in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So it's a reward.
I mean, the gift
That's
basket.
about it. It's a little gift basket. Like there's lore, but it's never been confirmed or canon. But there's people that are theorizing what the butters mean, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to spread things that may or may not be true.
Gotcha.
But it is my prize plush. Oh, you got my cupcakes too. So we have cupcake. Thank you, David. We have cupcake. This is the nightmare cupcake. This is the regular one. Oh God, the butters are pressing stuff. There we go. So I might take both tomorrow. So
I mean, it seems like at some point when the lights go out and the spirits rise, it turns into the nightmare cupcake versus the standard pretty Toontown cupcake.
But wait, there's Velcro on the bottom.
To hold the
So they
butters in place.
they stay in place.
I
I
mean,
don't know how
like,
many times my dogs have tried to eat these.
I suppose that's no worse than getting like a cheese basket or
But they
like
all
that
come out.
holiday meat, the holiday meat collection. It comes with like the little sausages and the little cheese and a little fake knife.
Those are my exotic butters. It is my favorite FNAF plush, aside from maybe like my Foxies. But it's great.
See, that doesn't make me not want to read and watch the video about why the hell are butters important to Five Nights at Freddy's.
They just are. You have to trust the process. They are. They just are.
So,
I mean,
will
based
try
on what we were
hard.
talking about last week, the only thing that comes to mind is like if you get stuck in one of the spring traps, you can use the butter to help get yourself out.
No, if you get stuck in the spring trap, you're just dead. You're just gone. You're gone.
See,
Now,
no.
in Sister Location, you actually have to hide inside a spring trap suit for one of the levels, and you can see like the springs on the side of like your view, and every now and then, oh god, what are they called?
Mini arenas or something.
A mini arena comes up and tries to mess with one of the spring locks, and you got to smack them away and fix the spring lock before you die.
If you like, so I have, like I said, I've never beaten a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I have played almost every single one. I played Sister Location a little bit. I got to that part somehow. By some miracle, I did get to that part because that's like pretty late in the game.
Here, let me. Can I try and present? I'm gonna try and share screen.
I was just saying, like when I got to that part and I realized what I had to do, I have never known such anxiety as I did that night. I was on like the fourth level of like I don't know what to describe. It's like hopping out of a plane in a dream, and right when you're about to hit the ground, you get that jolt that wakes you up.
Yeah.
But instead of waking you up, you just continue to feel that jolt until it's over. Yeah.
Sam, I have it to where it's sharing my screen if you want to pop it up there.
Gotcha.
So this is a mini arena.
Oh shit.
Mini arenas are little babies of Ballora, which is a new animation. Why is that one dabbing?
And this is also important. All of this is important. Everything is canon.
Not the dabbing mini arena, but
no, it's especially the dabbing mini arena.
Made by Afton Robotics, Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location.
So
and is also in multiple other ones as well.
So how many of the Five Nights at Freddy's games? How many FNAF games are there?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Help Wanted, 1 and 2. Security Breach, Pizzeria Simulator, Super FNAF World, or was it like?
There's also ones for there's the what do you call it? The ones ARG.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's an ARG one, so there's another one.
Here we go. You've got Five Nights at Freddy's from 2014. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, also 2014. These all came out real quick.
Yeah.
3 was 2015. Oh no, Sister Location was 5, not 3. 3 was the one where everything burns down.
Yeah, the horror attraction.
Yes, that's right. And then you had 4, and also in 2015. Then in 2016, you had Sister Location, which is where you find out about Sister Location, as well as Circus Babies Rental and Entertainment. But you learned that there were other locations, and then you specifically had Circus Babies like Pizza Emporium or something like that.
Pizza Circus, I think it was.
Pizza Circus, that's right. Then you have Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator, which is hilarious.
Oh shit! Ultimate Custom Night.
You had Ultimate Custom Night, which is not canon, but there's still relevant lore. in there.
You still gotta play it to know stuff.
You still have to play it. There's no story necessarily. You're literally just
Yeah,
customizing your own knight.
like Cawthon was just like, hey, you remember every game where you had to like go against 4 or more animatronics? Yeah, what if we just put all of those motherfuckers into one game? Have fun.
Then you had Help Wanted in 2019, which was the VR one,
Yes.
I believe.
Anxiety.
But it's I think it was yeah, okay, they did release a non-VR version. Security Breach in 2021. So you see how these years are getting farther apart here. Everyone was freaking out because of how long this was taking to come out. The thing is with Security Breach, they rebuilt that game like 5 times or something like that. People have dug up old files that point out to a much richer and deeper lore and storyline than what they ended up going with. So there's some stuff there. There was a little bit of unease there, but it was really cool. It was really interesting exploring Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex. It's a large shopping mall containing laser tag, arcade, cinema, and a Freddy Fazbear Pizza restaurant, as well as I think there was supposed to be a bowling alley, or that might have
it was supposed to be a bowling alley.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a bowling alley. There was a go-karting in there. I want to say there's laser tag. Like, it's crazy. There's a whole little like ride you can go through and shoot balls at things or whatever. It's like a Disney attraction. It's crazy. Help Wanted 2 is supposed to come out later this year. Then you have spin-off games. FNAF World. We don't talk about FNAF World.
See, well, I mean, of course, I need to know what is FNAF World?
It's like it's Five Nights at Freddy's, but if it was like Final Fantasy.
It's an RPG.
Yeah.
It's a turn-based RPG.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
As it reads here, which sums it up pretty well, players and critics criticized the game for missing key features and being unstable to unfinished, and Cawthon apologized. And he ended up removing it from Steam and would improve it and then re-release it and then refunded everyone the game. He's been a pretty upstanding guy throughout this whole thing. There was a small hiccup where people found out he had donated to some right-wing politicians. But otherwise, he's been a pretty decent guy with everything. I'm not going to get into all that.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Anyway, so then you have Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, which was the augmented reality game. Freddy in Space 2.
Wait, Freddy in Space 2?
Yes.
Did they skip right over Freddy in Space 1, or was Freddy in Space 1 called something different?
It's a sequel to a minigame from FNAF World.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it was a game within a game. It's a sequel to a game within a game. But this was specifically made to promote a charity live stream from MatPat for St. Jude. So that was really fun. They did another one. They did Freddy in Space 3, Chica in Space, which I believe MatPat did another security thing, or not, what are you talking about? Charity thing for, but I don't remember entirely. And of course, Security Breach, Fury's Rage, which is once again kind of a spin-off of Security Breach. It's a side scroller, beat 'em up. So think Streets of Rage, but with furries.
Okay.
And then last but
that
not
one
least,
actually. No, that one kind of has my attention. Like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Last but not least, you have Fazbear Fanverse. I can't talk tonight. Which is his plan to help fund and publish FNAF games developed by fans, but with previous installments in their respective series. So there's been lots of really good FNAF clones that have come out. It looks like we're going to get One Night at Flumpty's, Five Nights at Candy's. Some of these I know of, like those two. The other two, not so much. Yeah, I don't recognize the other ones here, but that'll be fun. Now, the real question you should be asking is,
Why is the butter important? That's
no,
my
no, no, no.
question.
How many animatronics are there?
Yes.
Nope.
The
I mean, it
answer
seems
is
like
yes.
it's one of those things where there's.
Here we go.
You've got so many
Here we go.
main
Look at this.
characters, and then all of these side characters, and
I don't even think this is all of them, but there's this list here. I don't know if it froze. Why did it freeze? Oh, because I'm presenting the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me do this. There we go. Look at this. There you go. Oh, there's Mr. Cupcake, because Mr. Cupcake is an animatronic. He does count.
wow,
He counts separately from Chica.
that's a lot of.
There's Mangle. You have the Withered. You have some of them like the Withered, the Nightmare, the Phantom, that arguably don't actually exist. Like they exist in the minds of people.
I mean, I'm
think
saying
the
like we're already
Tracker
up to the
ones are too.
50s.
Oh yeah, there's still more. Oh, there's Bucket Bob, number one crate, Mr. Can Do, Mr. Hugs. You remember those, David?
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, and I don't. Hold on. There's Lefty. How old is this post? Yeah, this is 6 years old, so this doesn't even have everything.
What?
This there's a lot more. Here we go. There's a lot. There's a lot here.
Why?
Oh, they even have the Tales from the Pizzaplex. They have the other ones. Fazbear Fright.
Okay, wait,
Yep.
wait. Back up.
These are the book series. They
Okay,
include the
I'm like,
book
these
series.
can't still be animatronics.
No, Fazbear Fright and Tales from the Pizzaplex are book series. So these are the animatronics from the book series.
You know, at some point, it feels like they've gotten away from what the hell this is even about and just said, you know what, if we slap FNAF on it, the kids will buy it, so let's keep going.
These book series are actually really good. They're like akin to like Goosebumps or something like that. In my opinion, a little more gruesome. But yeah.
We had a whole conversation about how the damn Springtrap suit works. Yeah, I would say these are a little bit more gruesome than Goosebumps. just a smidge.
But David, what's your favorite animatronic?
The hippo.
The hippo. Oh God, I forgot about him. Hold on, what was his name?
He's the best. He's the best.
I'm trying to. Oh,
Man.
Right. You don't like Music Man? No, Music
No,
Man.
Music Man's up there, but it's got to be the hippo man. It's got to be the hippo guy. He's
They're part of the Mediocre Melodies.
the hippo man.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay, yeah. You know what?
He's not trashing the gang. He might be the Posh Pizzeria animatronics. Oh no, he is. He's in Mediocre Melodies. That's Mr. Hippo. That's his name.
It's just Mr. Hippo. I love it. Man, he's the best because if he's the one that kills you in that game over screen, he just waxes poetic for like 20 minutes straight.
Okay,
And
there we go.
Great.
There's
I
the
love
Mediocre Melodies. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna pull up the speech real quick.
the speech. Yes.
I know it's your favorite.
It's
Oh God.
because it's so out of pocket.
Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna restart it with sound.
It's
need
so
you.
good. It's so good.
Share. Okay. And y'all just let me know if you can hear it.
And you have met
Yeah, there
a
it is.
terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just been from someone else, you
This
know?
is the hippo.
I guess what I'm trying to say is life life goes
He
on.
gives random
Well,
speeches.
well, for everyone
He's the
else,
only
life goes
animatronic
on.
that does this.
Not for you. You're dead. But that's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful
Jeff already
picnic with my
stressed out.
good friend Orville. And I said to him,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
it
like
goes, it goes, and I
that's
love
a-
it. Just
You
a just
know-
a little more salt in the wound. Like there you go. Take that.
It's still going. He
It's
has
still-
multiple speeches too.
Yes, yes. Oh, look at him!
Right.
So that's like my man from Reservoir Dogs who like wants to have a whole little dance
Look at
while
this
you're tied to the
man.
chair. I'm good.
Yes.
Got
Yeah.
four speeches. Oh, this is the
Ah.
most replayed. What does he say?
I feel like you've gotten too much sun. Indeed, indeed I had. He proceeded to pour me a glass of just ice cold lemonade. Ooh, you ever mix it with iced tea? You do like a little half lemonade, half it's toast. You should try it some. Well, you can't because you're dead. But anyways, so you may be asking yourself, how did I go from sitting by the falls and drinking lemonade to being wedged in the air duct? Not only
Oh God! Look at this.
Yeah.
Mr. Hippo rambling for an hour straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I can
he's my favorite.
see how
He's my
he's just
favorite.
sitting there having this conversation with
It's
the
like-
corpse.
He just killed you like in
Somebody-
the most gruesome way, and now he just kicked back, crosses his legs. He's like, this reminds me of the time that like, and you can't do anything because the light is just bleeding from your eyes, and you can't do nothing but just sit there and listen. It's the last thing you hear on this earth.
So, David, the posh pizzeria animatronics are Funtime Chica, El Chip. Remember El Chip?
Yes.
El Chip, and Music Man.
Music Man.
All right, Matt Pat.
So now here's the funny thing. We're gonna go see this movie, and I'm not gonna get like none of that stuff. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
No. Okay,
None of
so
that.
let me tell you what you
None
have
of
to
that.
worry about for the first one.
No. Hold on.
Freddie
No.
Fazbear.
What I'm saying is
Funny.
like if there are 15 years of lore, we're going, and it's just like the conversation you two are having about the hippo and this and that. And it's like I hadn't played not one of the games. There's so much behind this. We're going in to see this movie, and I know nothing of it. I know,
And-
so
And you know
very
what the
little of
fun part
story.
is? You know what the fun part about this whole conversation we just had? We didn't spoil anything.
No.
Like,
I mean, and that's what I'm
Nothing
saying.
was
Like it
spoiled.
seems like it just kind of went so far off the rails of what it's
no,
about.
no, the train was on the rails. It stayed on the rails, baby. It just went. The rails went crazy. It is all by design.
I don't know. I feel like there's a little too much built up for this movie now, like for Five Nights at Freddy, because I'm not gonna get none of that type of stuff and have the
Nah.
same glee and enjoyment. So
Oh,
we
will
need
be
Peter to do
confused.
his thing.
You will be confused.
And if Josh, I'm telling you, man, if Josh don't come out here and like blow me away in this movie, because it's like, first of all, we're going in and like, gotta be crystal clear. Y'all got me going out to see a scary movie. That is not a plus to start. You know what I'm saying? Now, looking at the rating, it's like, okay, it can only be so scary, but it ain't nothing for me to figure out in this. Ain't no who done it with this.
It's
It's
gonna be
does
a
he
jump
die or
scare.
does he survive? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is obviously going to be something where they're going to be relying on the jump, this and that. And it's just like, but I'm looking at just the joy in David's face as he talked about all this other stuff. And I'm like, I want that part of it. I want that part.
and
I want
you
the part
you
that
gotta
makes me
earn it.
that
laugh.
part of it. You
gotta
will.
earn it.
You just
All right.
gotta walk through the fields for a bit.
We earned this through years.
You could say that we were owed this. There was a lot of teasing for a lot of parts in this goddamn story.
Also, we've been waiting for this stupid movie for years.
Yeah, I had to.
Like, yeah.
I mean, the only thing that seems somewhat promising, because first of all, like, I think we're starting to kind of get away from the video game movie curse. Like, they're actually starting to make some pretty good video game movies. So I think it was probably to the, for the best that there was a little bit of delay and we're just now getting around to the movie. But also like Blumhouse Studios is like in charge of this production. And though I'm not a huge horror fan, I know when I see Blumhouse, I like know that means like scary, and I can assure you that I'm not too keen. Already not liking scary movies. It's like
Is
I
is
can
Celeste
trust
going to
some of
come
what
too so
they've
you can hold
done.
her hand?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm hoping that she will, but she be scared too. But see, she liked that sensation of being scared. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's like what I know from Blumhouse, like they did Get Out, they did Megan. Those were two movies that, while creepy, not exactly scary. So I'm hoping and expecting that this Five Nights at Freddy's will be creepy, but not necessarily scary. And that will give me the opportunity to potentially enjoy it a little bit more and, what I'm saying, be a bit more into what we're there to see. But just as a general sense, it's like when you have something that has like, I don't know, like we said, like this could possibly have been a TV series if they have that much material to cover. Now, given that they have so much material, could we potentially be seeing Five Nights at Freddy's 2, 3, Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, Five Nights at Freddy Tokyo Drift? Like, are they going to make a whole series with it? Because it sounds like there's enough content.
You know what? If you read the Fazbear Frights books, at the end of every book, because every book consists of 3 stories,
Mhm.
and then a part of a 4th story. And this 4th story has this part at the end of every single Fazbear Fright book. And I think there's 7 of them. That storyline is extremely interesting, and it's long. I could see them turning that into a movie. I don't know if they will, because it's not as popular as like the games, but I could see that working out to be a really good movie. It gives a little more story of Afton, the bad guy, and lets you kind of know more about what happens to him in between certain blocks of the games. So it kind of sets you up and lets you know how he got to where he was in Security Breach.
Because that is the question I have. I need to
Well, like
understand that part. So,
for people who haven't, that it's that's the latest game. So there's a big
okay.
gap. Yeah. So like I said, that would help you kind of fill in the blanks as far as like, because it seemed like he was dead at the end of the Pizzeria Simulator. Like they were burnt to a crisp, they're gone. Like the soul's exorcised, released, whatever. Aside from, oh god, Dave, remember that speech at the end of Pizzeria Simulator?
Yeah.
Except for you, some of you, whose souls have a special spot reserved in the deepest pits of hell, or something like that.
All right, you got it.
He's like,
All right,
except for you,
all
my
right.
friend.
Hey,
It's
you gotta let him have something to find out later. You can't you're giving it away. You're giving it away.
But it's good.
So this movie, let me see. We got Five Nights at Freddy's, 2003. We've got some showtimes here. It's actually gotten some decent reviews already. Now I'm wondering if the Google reviews are, because the movie technically comes out this week, and
Tomorrow.
right, and we're doing like a first showing. And so of course it's like whenever you see like a bunch of reviews and stuff like that, I know like some of the IMDb ratings, um, the user ratings, a lot of it seems to be like, just people who are excited for the movie, glad that the movie's being made, and we're not getting a whole lot of like actual like critic reviews coming back on it. But given the type of movie it is, you typically don't see just like, you know, this is not the kind of movie that normally is going to thrive on critic reviews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
It's
can't
definitely gonna
imagine
be.
critics are like flocking to go review Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, I mean that's something Jeff and I have talked about in the past. Like if you don't have the right person reviewing the movie, then either you need to just like analyze the movie just from a, cinematic standpoint. Does it do what it attempted to do? If it does that, and I mean like I said, I've looked at the trailers and yeah, like probably not something I would have put on my list to go see. Um,
Who would have made you do it? Why did I watch that at the very least?
and this would have absolutely needed to be something that I watched in the comfort of my own home. So like Saturday, middle of the day, this would have been, getting watched then. Um, in my head, it's like, because I know this is based off of a video game and all of the kids that came out, it's like, okay, in my head, I'm like, it can't be that scary because this is what the kids were coming in to get. But it's a lot of twisted kids out there, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But now, of course, like we're right here at time, and movies getting ready to drop, and I'm like, okay, why not? What the hell? Watch a scary movie for spooky season. Why not?
You know you're
More power
excited,
to
Sam.
you. Hey, you keep telling yourself that. I can assure you, I'm excited to go to the movies. I haven't been to the movies in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like there are parts of me that, I'm going to make this enjoyable just because I'm going to make it enjoyable. Um, Not thrilled about the concept of going to see a scary movie, period. Just like period across the board. This one, at least I'm familiar with the subject matter, but it's like, come on, man. This is like telling somebody who's like afraid of clowns, like, oh, come on, let's go see it. Oh, it's not that bad. Like they already have a thing. These animatronics, even in the images, they off. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese, and when I look at Chuck E. Cheese up there on the stage, that don't look bad. These things, there's no way there was any child inside one of these Freddy Fazbear's and was like excited. Them things always looked creepy. And now we about to go watch a movie full of these creepy things and try to pretend like they not creepy. Like this is like there are kids having pizza parties while Chica come out. No. No.
Chica actually, I believe, typically serves the food.
Look, the duck. There's something about the eyes.
That's
Okay,
why
look.
she's wearing the little bib that says "Let's eat."
Look, I'm gonna tell you what it is.
She has teeth too.
It's
Two sets of teeth, and
a lot of them have teeth, and that's disturbing.
I mean,
in
like
its own right.
that was like a huge thing. Whenever the first like few games came out, is that Chica was the only one who had like the normal animatronic had like teeth. The rest don't really have teeth like that. But Chica has like human teeth, and not just human teeth, but a second set inside her mouth. So people
Like,
were saying, "Oh, is that the skeleton inside?" Right? Like that was a huge thing for a while. People were thinking like, "Oh, you could see the skull. Like that's the a person inside." Like because that's the whole thing. The kid, like the dead kids, were supposedly stuffed into these animatronic suits. So theoretically, that ended up not being. But yeah, that was the if you were talking about something that's just unsettling, it's just kind of crazy. That's what a lot of fans found super unsettling and super creepy in the first few games.
That was the thing that said
that was
the second set of teeth was the problem. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sam was almost offended by that.
I mean, but in fairness, though, I will say that, like, sometimes you kind of have to, like, know your audience. You know what I'm saying? And if you're like like people who like horror movies, they're not offended by certain elements of horror movies. Where people who are not fans of horror movies are immediately like a gasp and like I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like okay, so it's funny to me that the idea of like putting the kids in the animatronics, like that wasn't a problem. But having a second set of teeth, okay, come on, that's going too far. Bruh. Like no, that line was already the line is so far back, it's a dot in the rear view. You know, so it's just like be fine with the teeth and the whole nine. But the biggest issue, and this is a thing with a lot of like just Jim Henson puppets in general, they have like these really like off eyes. And very specifically, these puppets, they have very off eyes because the irises are red. You know what I'm saying?
They can turn red, yes.
Like the pupil and everything. Like they have the colored and they're red. Animatronics aren't supposed to have.
Jim Henson's puppeteers are so good that seeing any Jim Henson puppet like without a puppeteer moving it makes it seem like it's actually dead. Like the puppets look like they're supposed to be alive, even though they're clearly not.
Right.
Which is why they look extra creepy because it's like.
Have y'all ever been to the Center for Puppetry Arts here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually went a couple months ago. First time in a very long time. They had a special feature for Where the Wild Things Are, and the puppetry used for that, which was really cool. But yeah, I was gonna say, Sam, you want something that's really creepy, and you find the Jim Henson puppets creepy. Don't go to the Center for Puppetry Arts. It is a lot of Jim Henson puppetry.
No, wait, and I'm gonna open something. So like, okay, you think about it. Remember dinosaurs? Not the mama?
Yeah.
Them was some creepy ass looking dinosaurs because they had human eyes. Again, they had eyes with the colors and like the movement of the mouth and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, even the first Ninja Turtles was a little like
it's funny that you bring up the eye colors. The eye colors are actually extremely important in the games. Eye color in general is extremely important in the games because there's so little information. Like you have to identify some characters by their eye color and like their hairstyle, things like that carry from game to game. And you can be like, oh my God, that's so and so, especially if there's like a teaser. There's often teaser images that are released, but you have to kind of like hunt them down. They'll be like hidden in like special embedding in a random website that has to do or is related in some capacity to Scott Coffin. He's got his website as a FNAF website, the old FNAF World website, even though the game is no longer up because you used to be able to go on that website to play it. They still have teaser images and things that go up on there, and people will screenshot it and then lighten it, but that's easy mode. Okay. It's not just lightening or changing the contrast. It's going into the actual, coding for the website and looking for secret messages in there. Like it's crazy. Anytime we're in between games, like everyone is on the lookout and on the hunt for the next teaser something or other to drop.
Let's see if I can make this one image. Okay, I can't zoom that image. I was again just like I was looking at the like Robbie dinosaur from the dinosaurs and like the Charlene, the teenage kids. Like he's got on a Letterman jacket and he's got like the little mohawk thing with
the weird thing about dinosaurs is every dinosaur in the family is a different species.
Yeah.
Which is like a more effed up version of what you were talking about.
I was about to say that goes back to like
aliens.
How, but see, and then of course they're all humanoids. So there you go. It's like this whole society. It's just, and we accept certain things.
But then too, like what I was watching, there are like dinosaurs that they used as like just like be actors, and it's the same type of dinosaurs, but like they have different clothes on and have different jobs. The people who have like stories, they get to be like different and unique. But clearly, they were just like, "Look, man, we can only build so many dinosaur robot puppet things. You just have to put some new clothes on this thing and like call it a
Reuse
day."
it. Reuse. And see, the thing was, it was probably the same bodies for a lot of them, and just different
No, it
heads.
absolutely no. It was the same dinosaur, but it was just like literally the same dinosaur, but playing a different like character. Kind of like in They Clone Tyrone, how they had the like racially ambiguous white man with an afro running all the different businesses in the hood. Like it was like that.
Ah, just have that one person, that generic
Yeah.
dinosaur character. I don't know. It's given that it's not going to be a lot of CGI, and that it's going to have puppetry, and it's going to be a lot of practical effects. There will be parts of it that I will be able to enjoy from a cinematic standpoint. Like, oh, the practical effects were very well done, and it gave me
We're
a
very
little bit
practical.
more. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, they were very practical. And it'll be like, it'll probably add to an element of the story in that it will allow it to be a little bit more immersive. Because I mean, honestly, I've gotten to the point now where I recognize I can watch something, and it's funny because everybody got these 4K TVs, and you can watch this HDR, 4K, blah 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 blah. And now it's like becoming almost a distraction when you can see the CGI errors, or what I'm saying, like and it's we hear about a lot of these shows that are getting rushed, and how people are they're not taking the time to do the CGI the way it needs to be done, da 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 da. And I was watching when we were watching Ahsoka, there's one part where she's running, or trying to dodge something, and she does like this little roll down a hill. And it was like such terrible CGI that in that moment I was like I was all into the story, and then she does this roll, and then I'm like, okay, what's happening? Because it was just so glaringly obvious, it was distracting. And now I'm like, why is she even running? Like, if they're gonna do that, and I'm normally not that critical. It's like I see it, I acknowledge it, and it's like, okay, did it hurt the story in any way? Did it mess anything up? It's not like we're talking, you can see the stunt double and tell that it was a stunt double and not the actual, what I'm saying? Like, that's a dude, not this woman, or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't know. I was like, there was no other way they could have done that moment. It needed the CGI. And it's like when you do CGI in places where you don't need CGI, it becomes a question as to that was an aesthetic choice, and that can be a detraction. So I am looking forward to seeing this part of the movie without the CGI, because knowing that it comes from a video game, knowing that it's I've seen these characters, like I said, hell, when I worked at GameStop, shit was everywhere in GameStop. It was like Five Nights at Freddy's takeover at one point. And
Hey, I kept everything very neat and organized.
and it was just like all these kids coming in, and all they were talking about is Five Nights at Freddy's and this, that, and the other. And then like every time I turn around, and it's funny because not one time did I remember seeing the game in the store, because it was like what it was just a Steam game, an online PC download game.
You could I think you could download it on apps at that point. Like you could download it on your phone. But yeah, it was mostly PC.
And it was just one of those things where, like, I don't know. I still hear about Roblox. I still hear kids talking about Roblox.
Roblox is hella relevant right now. Shit,
Facts.
for better or for worse, because there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world of Roblox, and I will say, like, if you have kids that play online, every once in a while, you just need to sit there and watch them play, and what I'm saying, have them like let the speakers play. Need to see what your kids are doing and what they're involved in. might be shocked that they might not be playing Roblox no more. So kids, I'm sorry if just got you kicked out of your Roblox lobby. But I've also seen like older kids. There's a young man. I was fixing his laptop. The kid does like does a little bit of graphic design work and whatnot. He makes like flyers, this, that, and the other. His mom contacted me. She was like, "Hey, my son's laptop. Da 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 da." Okay, cool. Get to work and fix up the laptop. They came to pick up the laptop, and when he was trying to, I like turn it on, test it, make sure it does what you need it to do, and that you're not having the issue anymore. He turned it on, and he like okay, let me run something that I know will make it run hard. So he goes, he logs into Roblox, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Mom, can we go? I have to go." My man had to host a funeral inside the server on Roblox for another character that like I don't conceptually I couldn't quite understand it. I've played some MMOs before, so I was like, okay, so you're having a virtual funeral for somebody else in game. And he's the host. So he needed to get home so he could get everything set up to have this virtual funeral.
I mean, they do virtual weddings in Final Fantasy that you can
Yeah.
pay for.
Yeah.
Well,
Dave and I still need to do it, but yeah, they do have the free option. But if you want to get the fun stuff,
yeah.
I mean, I understand like the interaction and the MMO aspect of games, but it was funny to me because I'm like, how do I say this correctly? I would expect he was about that age where he may start having new interests. And
You thought he was going home to do some freaky freak stuff.
no, not even that. Like look, as a man child myself, I'm never going to say that there's an age limit to games or anything like that. But just when I look at Roblox, you know what I'm saying? When I see Roblox, I don't think Roblox is targeted to an adult consumer. I don't think it's targeted to an adult market. And so I'm wondering, like, where is that transition stage? Like, where does he go from Roblox to League of Legends or, Grand Theft Auto, I guess, or whatever? Because I mean, I found out I've come to understand recently that in Grand Theft Auto, there are people who just do like role playing in Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, they just literally live their lives. It's crazy. But as far as I don't think he'll necessarily transition out of it. I think Roblox, same as any other, especially MMO, has fan bases that'll continue to grow and stick with it. So especially if you're in if you're neurodivergent and this is your comfort game, you're going to keep going back to this over and over and over again. It doesn't matter how old you are. So it's going to come to a point where you almost need to have some kind of a separation in game between underage players and adults, because the adults are going to still play it, and unfortunately you're still going to have predators that come through and use it. So you almost have to try and create safe spaces for kids, or figure out a way to I mean, you have to do, because you can't limit it from adults necessarily.
No, I mean, you definitely can't limit it. You can't limit it from adults, and
you can definitely limit an adult area from the kids, though, especially by putting different verification measures in place.
Right. But at the same time, I will say that like there's always going to be some kid that's going to figure out and corrupt the games.
Oh yeah.
Like there's always going to be that one kid, and it's going to be the one kid whose older brother only plays Grand Theft Auto exclusively, and mom won't let him play Grand Theft Auto, but she'll let him play Roblox. So he's bringing GTA into Roblox.
Yeah.
And I've just seen some content from that as well, and that kind of trips me out to see what some of these kids are doing in Roblox, And it's all fun. They're having a good time, and there are certain limitations as to what they can and can't do. So there's that part of it. But it's the imagination and the ways that they recreate some of this stuff. Because it was the same thing with Minecraft. You know what I'm saying? Like Minecraft was just a harmless little game, and it's like you start seeing some of the stuff that people can create in Minecraft, and you got some really creative individuals out there. It's the only way to say that. Some of the stuff that they can build, and it's like, wow, you took the time, but hey. So
Yeah, I helped build a replica of the Resident Evil mansion from the first game. We started getting all the way down into like the hive, and we didn't finish building the hive, but it was cool.
just to build the outer structure is still impressive.
But we did the hedge maze in the back. We tried to keep the layout as close as possible, including like the spooky hallways where the dogs are, and the windows and all that. And what was the other part? We did manage to hide the entrance to the hive in a bookshelf where you have to hit a switch and then it opens up a stairway into it.
What's a good comedy coming up? Because I'm gonna need to recover from all this spooky. I'm gonna need a good action movie, or you know what? I'm gonna see that, and then I'm gonna probably go see Expendables 4 this weekend. Just
That's still in theaters?
I don't know, but I'll find it. I'll go to a dollar theater somewhere. Do they even have dollar theaters anymore?
They'd probably be $1.25 theaters.
Damn inflation. Go to the $2 movie. The last one that I knew about was over off of 85 North.
I used to go to the one in my hometown growing up, whenever it wasn't a church, because it would rotate back and forth between being a church and a dollar theater. You know the one I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. Let's see, even before that one, there was one on Old Salem Road, or actually on Old Salem Road. It was
that's what I'm talking about, at the end of that decrepit shopping center that's been torn down.
Yeah.
Around the corner from Los Charros.
That's the one.
The original Los Charros location, El Charro.
What do they have now? That is a Floor and Decor. That whole plaza's been dropped and gutted a couple of times. There was a Food Depot over there for years.
It was. This is actually the first time they've completely demolished at least from what I remember since I've been in Conyers. They completely demolished the entire building, aside from at the very, very, very end of the strip, almost off the access road where that little like Mexican grocery store is.
Yeah, all of that is still there. They
left that, and then the rest of it they bulldozed. And every time I go over there, it looks like they've built more stuff. But I have a lot of memories over there in that area.
Yeah, it's grown up a lot.
My parents' favorite barbecue restaurant or steakhouse, I guess, I don't know, whatever you call it, was over there, and they've never found a good replacement for it, and it makes them very sad. But I don't know if you remember, City Slickers. That was the name of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, my parents loved City Slickers. We used to go there fairly often after church growing up.
That was for us down 138. It was Ryan's.
We do Ryan's as well.
And when we had the Cinema 8 right there on 138. Now I've actually seen a ton of movies in that theater, and the dollar movie was when I finally got a car, had a job, had my own money, so to speak. And it was like, came to realize how expensive movies were. It was like, we're going to go over to this dollar theater. And it was like, I could start waiting for movies to get over there. So I would go to the theater just to be in the theater and watch like whatever was playing because it was only $1.
Now, I think that theater it's next to the Arby's, across from the old Chick-fil-A. I think that was a discount theater for a minute.
Right before it closed.
Yes. I feel it's almost like the dollar theater that used to be over on Old Salem, switched over there, and then like closed down. And yeah, it's sad. No more cheap theaters.
Now I did notice that I think part of it is, of course, just the cost of operating costs and things like that. And of course, as I've just over the years learned about how theaters do their releases, who gets what cut, and how the money changes hands and whatnot. And I've noticed that the at-home release is it's just as popular now. And this particular movie actually has the same day release for Peacock. And part of me was like, man, am I going to be able to make it? And then it was like, you know what? I should be able to make it. Shouldn't be any problem. And I was just thinking, worst case scenario, I'm saying, I can always just like watch it on Peacock at home. Probably pay about the same price, because it's like oftentimes they have like when movies come out, everything is coming digital now in like 45 days. It's available on streaming, or you can get it, Amazon Prime, and it seems like it takes longer for things, of course, to get all the way to Netflix, which I kind of understand because
if it ever comes to Netflix.
Right. Well, surprisingly enough, like I'm shocked by some of the stuff that I've seen come to Netflix now. But it's like I wonder if that has to do with who produced it and that sort of thing. Because what's the Jennifer Lawrence movie?
Thanks,
it's a comedy.
I hadn't said anything in a minute. I just wanted to chime in.
just had to get back in.
Yeah, I had to do something.
Let's see. There is Jennifer Lawrence. What is her last movie? It's a comedy where she's like no hard feelings. And that one came out this year. It's a raunchy little comedy, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's going to be pretty funny. I'm interested in seeing it, and lo and behold, it's on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I can't remember the last time a movie came out of the theater and ended up on Netflix. Everything goes to one of the other streaming services now. Netflix has had to do like all of their own, you know what I'm saying, Netflix original series and shows and movies and things like that to get anything because nothing comes out of the theater and goes to Netflix anymore,
Boo-hoo.
Right. I mean, but it's just a reason that we end up having to. We tried so hard to get away from cable, and now it's like, hell, cable's going to be the cheapest option
and the least convenient.
Yeah,
it's okay. That's why we all go back to pirating everything.
It's like you try so hard to do right, and then it's like when it's all said and done, I just want to watch a damn movie, And it's like, okay, you're gonna make it that hard. I'm just gonna watch the movie because that's what I wanted to do anyway.
So I guess another one of your cheapest options to be able to watch a movie right now would probably be the drive-in. So drive-in's not too bad still. David and I can both get in there for less than $20, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like $8.
And they've got a great food option. So you hit a drive-through first, then go to the drive-in.
Now we hit up Kroger. We hit up a Kroger, and we'll get whatever we feel like, and load up. Go over to the drive-in. I'll get popcorn from there, and their popcorn is reasonably priced. So theoretically, we could pop our own and bring it, but part of the whole experience for me is the actual popcorn. I never really got to get theater popcorn growing up, so it's been something I like to spoil myself with as an adult.
Gotcha.
David doesn't eat any of it.
Nah, not my bag.
No, it's my bag of popcorn. Get your own.
I needed like a sweet popcorn. I can't do like a butter
Same.
or a salty. Yeah,
I love
like
a salty
caramel or
popcorn.
something. Oh, speaking of
I
caramel,
love
hold on.
both. Like, give me a salty and a sweet popcorn. What are you getting,
I'm
David?
good for like the
Okay.
the white cheddar popcorn, but it's weird. I want like the most processed. I want to just go buy a bag of white cheddar popcorn because if I
Now,
do,
David, if that was popcorn, then I'd want some.
let's see, if I go to the
Can't do.
theater, I can do the salty and the butter. I get the popcorn, extra butter, have it shaken up, and I want, I need the guy that's like really into the popcorn to be making mine. Shake it, spin it, get the butter, spin it again, shake it. it makes it taste better.
Can you
But
do the thing to my popcorn that makes it taste better? Thanks.
right, like spin it around when you put the butter in it, shake it up. Um, but no, I just like honestly, all in all, not a fan of popcorn. Even movie theater popcorn, just like nah. Now you give me Twizzlers and a Sprite, that's movie food to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those like candy people. And now that like you can go to the theater and every theater has like a full freaking restaurant in the back. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, no, let me clarify that. They have a variety of food choices at most theaters now.
You want a
Not to
$12 hot dog?
right, not
They
to
got you.
confuse it with an actual restaurant movie theater. And I do want to be clear about that because you can go and you can get like some damn good food because it's a real restaurant as opposed to these reheated chicken fingers that they nuked in the microwave right before sticking them in a box to hand to you. Looking at
That'll
you,
be
AMC.
$26, please.
Right, looking at you, AMC. But I've
No.
also noticed that they have like the AMC has they have like the flatbread pizzas.
Yo, flatbread is a scam.
What?
Give me a real fucking pizza or don't give me nothing. I don't want this flatbread crap. All right.
But not everybody wants all
Save
the
that.
dough and
Save
shit,
that.
man.
If you don't have, flatbread should be a
same dough.
secondary pizza option. Real pizza first, then flatbread.
It's like making your pizza on a pita.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's a
if it was thin
pita's
crust,
a-
even a thin crust pizza still has crust, sauce, cheese, meat.
Now see, like thin crust is not
Flatbread
enough,
pizza
though.
is like a
It's like
cracker.
it's like a happy medium.
No,
it's
flatbread is like
Flatbread
it's
like a
it's not
light-skinned
crispy
black person
though.
trying to pass.
not even real pizza. It is like somebody took a Triscuit or a cracker of some sort. They
Y'all
took a
wildin'.
knife and dipped it into the marinara and like
Nah,
spread it
y'all
on
wildin'.
that way, as opposed to you have to like spoon it on and spread it around. That's like proper amount, and it's really about the portions and the amounts. And yeah, I'm not a fan of flatbread pizza myself. My wife loves thin crust pizza. I'm like, why?
I like thin crust, but I don't like flatbread.
I like thin crust sometimes.
The sauce ratio can be off with thin crust sometimes, and then I'd be like, I'm out.
The
on
sauce ratio is typically off on most pizzas. They usually have way too much sauce.
True. Actually, something I enjoyed recently that I had, shockingly, at Little Caesars, their 4-corner calzone. That thing was damn good. It was perhaps the greasiest thing I've eaten in a long time. But let me tell you,
You're not fucking with the They Clone Tyrone pizza no more.
nah, we got to step away from that, man. But yeah, see, and see, she's agreeing. It's just too much bread. That's right. I mean, and like I said, my wife, she loves thin crust pizza. And of course, my biggest issue with thin crust pizza can't hold the toppings. Because I'm always gonna get like the meat version, like loaded up with all the meats. And when you get that on thin crust, all the meats be falling off because it ain't nothing for it to stick to.
A meat lover's thin crust pizza is wild.
It is just literally chase the meatballs. They're just like falling off everywhere.
It was the best thin crust pizza though, which you can't get anymore. The dessert pizza from Pizza Hut that used to be on their buffet.
Yeah.
That dessert pizza slap. Like
actually, you know what? Like we used to have a CC's where I live. And surprisingly enough, I liked going to CC's Pizza because they had a variety of different pizzas. And, being able to get like, if you like this, you could try this pizza. And if it wasn't good, it's like, my daughter, she would love the macaroni and cheese pizza. And that would not be something that I would think of as far as like, oh, I want a pizza. Let me put macaroni and cheese on top of bread with cheese and cheese sauce.
I wish they had the macaroni and cheese pizza when I was a kid. They didn't have that. They had blondies though, which were fantastic.
Right.
So they weren't like normal blondies. They were like, you know how they had like the little pizza, like the breadsticks with the chocolate sauce. They had something similar, but with like it was yellow instead. So it was like a vanilla sauce, almost like a pudding.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the breadsticks weren't like crispy. They were kind of like chewy, almost like a donut. They were so good. And my brothers and I liked the stupid little arcade they had too. Anytime there's video games involved, we're down.
Right. I mean, it was like 2 games in there worth playing. It was like Cruising USA and the Area 51 with the broken light gun. But hey, that was what we did. And it was always the blue gun that was broken. It was the one on the left. The
And
one
it
on the
was
right would always work fine. And
if
of course,
our family went out to CC's, like it wasn't as often as I think my brothers and I would have liked. But every now and then my parents were like, yeah, let's go to CC's. We'd have to drive all the way out to Stockbridge
mm,
from North Rockdale
mm.
whenever we lived there at the time. It wasn't as bad when we moved to South Rockdale, but yeah, it was a drive to get out there, but it was worth it. We liked that. And then I stopped going to CC's as an adult because there was a creepy guy who used to hit on me when I was like 16, 17.
Mm.
That was a manager at the one in my hometown.
Yeah, that'd be a good
Yeah.
reason not to.
He called me a hot tamale. And mind you, I had never even kissed anyone, much less had a boyfriend or even had anyone who had liked me. So all of this was super creepy to me. And as it should have been, because he was a decent amount older than me too.
Mm.
So
Old dudes.
he used to stalk me at my my fast food job nearby.
So that makes me think, and well, not the stalking part, but just as we were talking about the
I was
food,
gonna say,
like well, that makes me think of this. Wait, no, that's not how I mean that. As we're discussing the food and the pizza and such, of course, I'm like the movie we're going to. Yeah, no.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Like, yeah. How do I delete? Okay, just.
Ban that
Oh,
bitch.
that's but you know what? That's
Ban
funny.
that
That's from Twitch. So I appreciate you watching on Twitch. But see now you're gone. That
Watching.
sucks. You just came on for that and then you left.
You know, that's a lot, baby.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So we're going to Movie Tavern, 4043 La Vista Road in Tucker. And it just like it occurred to me. I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, there's gonna be food there. Like, I wonder, like, what am I gonna get? I need to see, like, so of course, just thinking about like the food and stuff.
You can pre-order it
Right.
with your ticket.
Right. And so of course I'm like, gotta see about that.
Whenever I last tried to do it, it wouldn't let me. Like it errored out. It told me I had to remove the popcorn and the drink. And I'm like, that's like half of the reason why I'm getting food is the popcorn. So if I'm going to stand in line anyway for those, I'm just going to buy my food there. So, but it's a good way to look at the menu early if you want.
Right. So of course I'm like, I want it delivered to my seat. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I want to interrupt everybody's theater experience.
They're always going to deliver it to your seat, even if you buy it there.
Well, no, they have the option here. I'm looking at it, so it's like, how do you want it? Pick up at counter or deliver to your seat? Well, I want it.
So whenever you buy it there, they don't give you that option. They just give you a number and they deliver it to your seat.
Gotcha. The 7 p.m. show and so yeah, you got to have the seat purchased. Oh, okay. So I was just really wanted to see like their menu because I haven't been to this one, and so I don't know what all they offer. And when I try to look at, okay, well, let's see. Maybe if I can go by location, it'll give me something more specific. But they have Horizon Village Cinema in Lawrence, on Lawrenceville Swanee Road in Swanee, Roswell Cinema in Roswell, and Tucker Cinema in Tucker. So there's show times. I got all the show times. Does not show me their food menu. We strongly recommend. Okay, that's here. Nope. See, it's the same thing where it's like just walking you through to.
Oh, there we go. I found it.
So I guess I'll be looking at the menu on my way as I'm purchasing my ticket.
There you go. I'll put it in the chat.
So we got it there. But I just wanted to see what it was. And even when I go to the website and I click over dining option, it doesn't show me.
Apparently
But
they
we
have
can look
all-day
at Real
breakfast.
Sizzle.
I said I put
Burgers,
the link in the
tenders,
chat.
shakes. Gotcha. Oh, okay. A separate menu. Cool. Yeah, okay. So yeah, they have a whole pizza, build your own. And everything but fish. That's an interesting pizza. The carnivore, that sounds like mine. The veggie barbecue, the sausage special. You know what? I've seen too many jokes about getting a pizza that's just sausage. No, we're good. Entrees, sandwiches and wraps, tavern burgers.
See how
Tavern burger,
bad it
bacon
looks.
cheeseburger, backlot barbecue, Hollywood heat, classic double, mushroom bacon Swiss. Wow, all day breakfast. Tavern desserts and then specialty drinks.
Also, I've never seen the breakfast on there, so I don't. That might not be accurate.
Right.
Eat.
Yeah.
David, we have people surrounding us that whole row. We're probably not going to be able to sit together either if the seats aren't correctly labeled. But it is what it is.
I'll just text you my questions. we'll have the group chat open in the midst so that I can be like, okay, now who is this? Is this the guy?
It's 5,
That
6,
sort of thing.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have we're double booked on both sides of us.
Dang.
There are seats directly in front of us though, so we can kick you.
Okay, that's yeah. It's got all of these.
And
Let's
like,
see.
oddly enough, almost the whole back row is booked.
No, I can see that.
Kids back there being children. How
Damn
dare
kids.
youths.
The two Utes. It's another movie reference there. Okay, so whoa, my seat. There we go. With the wing back, and that bad boy was like not locked.
I think I'm about ready to dip and head off to bed. It's been a long day.
Cool.
So unless we have any other FNAF news to talk about.
Nothing pressing currently. I think I will save the remainder of my FNAF till tomorrow.
David and I are gonna probably get there around 6:30 or so, and just kind of like hang out. We'll probably go sit down around 15 minutes till. But we'll also be in costume, so it's just in case like kids want to take pictures or whatever. And we don't know how busy it'll be either, so we would need to have time to order our food and all that.
Right. Now, I'm hoping that tomorrow is much like the remainder of the week has been, that there are no hiccups at the end of my day, and I'll get back to the shop, change clothes, and beeline over. Like I said, I will drive absolutely safe, but I will have to make it a point to probably secure my ticket and order food on the way.
Sounds good. All righty. Well, I assume you guys are going to keep going, so I will.
I want to give Jeff an opportunity to speak more on the cross species.
That's what I'm like.
That's the topic.
I'll let you guys sit here and unpack that, and I'm gonna go to bed. So
all right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Later.
So, but yeah, that was
Hi, Linda.
That was a very interesting. Getting your Freddy Fazbear voice on.
Okay.
Oh wait, see.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I just grabbed a chip, forgot how loud that was in this mic. Set those back down. So we got that set.
You're not an old person, you'll be here. Hmm.
What is this?
Hmm. Okay.
So, anything interesting you want to add in there, Jeff? Or I think we covered most of it.
What, the interspecies stuff?
Yeah, like I said, the way it's explained in most cases, seems pretty normal.
So
And
yeah, in Star Trek, which is where I would be probably most familiar with like interspecies stuff. It was actually a pretty big thing. So in the original show, not the original show, in the show Enterprise, which is basically the story of that show is this is the first human mission to like leave Earth using warp technology. Like they get warp technology, they have first contact with the Vulcans, but then basically the Vulcans spend a bunch of time like making basically Vulcans don't respect humans. They think they're like very irrational and like emotional, and so they kind of like gaslight them in their progress with like improving their warp technology and basically don't really want to let humans loose into the galaxy. And so um, this is basically the story of the first like mission from Earth in a warp capable vessel. So they're encountering other species, but there is a Vulcan on board the ship,
uh,
and later on, her like she has a relationship with one of the crew members who is human, even though it's kind of weird because it's like she's a Vulcan and Vulcans and humans like really do not get along when they first meet. I know we all think about Spock and his relationship, but like he is an anomaly when it comes to like most Vulcan human relations. But basically in the show they kind of talk about, the how that works. They go, like I said, they go to the planet Risa, which is basically a pleasure planet. Pleasure can be defined in many ways, but I think, and all of them are available on Risa. So,
okay, but
um,
is this the universally understood?
yes, yes, no, it's not even that. It's like if you want to go rock climbing on Risa, you can go rock climbing on Risa, but if you want to get into other forms of leisure on Risa, that is not only available but expected. Um,
Okay, so it's
so
the hedonism planet.
it's basically, but it's like a resort though. It's not like it's not tacky.
All right, because
It's very
I watched it.
tastefully done, I think.
I got you.
And so, but one the Vulcan, T'Pol and Tom Paris, like they are the first human Vulcans to have a attempt at having a child, and the genetic, basically like the genetic, they're not genetically compatible, Vulcans and humans, which is a shock to see as like a Star Trek fan, because we all know Spock is half Vulcan half human. So over time, like they progress technology to allow like offspring to be viable between certain species. But you do see like different combinations, like in Deep Space Nine you see Bajoran and Cardassian children, who are two species who are literally fighting a war against one another. But they're from neighboring planets, so it makes a little bit more sense that maybe they would have like physiology that is more compatible than like humans and Vulcans.
Wow.
And the universal translator is also, the origins of that are also kind of shown on Enterprise. Basically, it's an algorithm, and it basically kind of keeps track of every recorded language that it encounters across the entire like network that it works on. And so if they don't understand you right away, like the algorithm works quickly at doing it. There's actually a character in Enterprise who they call her the human translator because she can pick up on and kind of recite back dialects of alien languages and other languages on Earth like she knew. And so she was basically the human translator that then is inputting this data into the universal translator that we later on see in Star Trek, which is basically it just translates whatever it hears into whatever language you understand. So we're viewers, we know English. It looks like everybody's speaking English, but really everybody's speaking their native home world language.
Right.
And they just don't make it weird by like dubbing over it, because that would be weird if everybody was like making their own.
Because then it seems like everybody's fluent in everything.
But then it's also weird because they also like speak Klingon clearly when they don't want people to like know what they're talking about. And like people, they see it as a sign of respect when people like you do see other languages spoken, but basically the universal translator is like Star Trek was made in America, so everybody speaks English.
Right. No, I mean that's honestly, and that exists in a couple of different things because even in and I have to remember we had a viewer the other day, Jim, who sent me some character mocks for we were discussing. I don't know if you remember, it was just like he was gonna create the character, and based on the description of the character, you were gonna like draw said character. So I have those. I'll get them to you. But in like different forms of like D&D and stuff like that, everybody has like their own language, and they refer to it as common. Everybody speaks the common tongue, and of course, by default, the common tongue is typically English. Or you know what I'm saying, because that's the one that everybody can understand. So it's not crazy to think that there would be something available. I just think it's quite impressive that the algorithm, well, first of all, like any algorithm exists, of course, if it knows the language, it can translate. My phone has Google Translate on it, and press a button and boom, it can translate a conversation in real time, which is in its own aspect pretty impressive. But it's like the part of it they don't talk about because it's just a regular thing. The universal translator is a piece of technology. It like has to be embedded. It has to be like it's a microchip that goes either behind your ear. It's got to be in your wrist or something.
I think it is. I think it. No, maybe I miss. I think I'm confusing with something else, but I feel like it's like a teeth thing.
Oh wow! So they just like pop a tooth in, and there you go. Universal translator. I mean, it would make sense.
I might be making that up though. Don't
even so. It's one of those. It's one of those things where it's like it's a soft form of bionics that we're not like they don't address that as being a thing in Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so normal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing if you have I think David had to drop out. I know he was saying he'd be back in a moment there, but no, I mean like if you saw somebody put on like a earpiece or a Bluetooth or something like that, and now they have their translator on, then okay, cool. There we go. He's back. Because then it's like, okay, I'm wearing the translator. That makes sense. I can understand everything that's being said because it's translating in real time what people are saying. Universal translator. Absolutely makes sense. And I'm waiting because I keep seeing, I don't know if these are like Kickstarters that they're trying to get me to buy into, or because I can always find like a Facebook reel or something where somebody's like got a little Bluetooth piece in and it's translating. They go over, they go over like Asia or something, and it's translating what people are saying, and they put one in the other person's ears, speak, and then it's like, oh, they can understand it. So the concept, it's very simple. It's right there. when you don't see somebody wearing that piece, then it's like, okay, they have to have something in place that's doing the translating. And so it's
Yeah.
like if you have those bionics, you just
Actually,
casually
no.
incorporated
You know what it
bionics.
is? You actually do you know what it is? It's it's the communicators in Star Trek. I don't know how that shit works, but I know it's the communicators. Because when people lose their communicators, then
Suddenly they
all
can't
hell,
understand.
bro. Yeah, yeah.
And seeing again, it's one of those things where like because talking with my non-geek cousin who put me on this whole path of like shit to point out that's a problem because it's like we just take it for granted. We've never thought about it. It's never been a concern. It's never been an issue. But when somebody who isn't kind of immersed in that, they kind of like when people like how Lois Lane don't know that's Clark Kent. You know what I'm saying? One of those things.
Yeah, I mean that one's egregious though.
It is, but at this point, it's so like so in your face. They just like because she does it, okay, and move on. Like we're not gonna sit here and have that conversation because it's not a conversation to have. But then when you have other things like like I said, you have something like a Star Trek that does such a good job in all the other details. It kind of makes me wonder, like how has that never been addressed? Like again, and then even if it's in the communicator. So if I have the communicator, that's like my cell phone being in my pocket allows me to understand what they're saying. I still need to know how that audio gets from the phone to my head. And it's just we've just always accepted that, they say things like universal translator. We're like, oh, it's Star Trek. That makes sense. They have light speed. We're not going to question how they can understand the alien that's on the show. He has to understand because that's the only way this moves forward. It's minor, but then when you kind of like start thinking about it, the shit don't make sense. And it was like
No, I mean it just basically is like this. That's not the point of Star Trek.
No, I get it. No, I absolutely get it. But it was what, like I said, when we were having our
like
conversation.
Think about it like this. When you used to watch Star Trek and it was like they had the iPads, nobody was like, how you just moving your hand on the screen and getting it to do a computer program, this, that, and the third. This is back when like computers were the size of rooms.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So hey, let's just envision the future. Somebody else will get us there.
Right. No, I mean, like Elon Musk is absolutely trying to get us to that point.
No, he's not. What point? Outer space?
No, Dave, I think you muted.
Yeah, I was.
What were you saying?
I said, nah, I don't know about all that. He trying to do something. I don't know what it is. I don't even think he knows what it is.
He's trying to bring back apartheid. That's what he's trying to do.
Where? What?
That's what he's trying to do.
What do you? Hold on. Nah, you know what? No, I'm not.
He's South African. That's where his people from. They was a part of that. They was all like diamond miners and jewelers and stuff.
That's gotta be one of the craziest things you said. That's crazy.
He dismantled Twitter simply to keep people from being able to organize.
No, he bought Twitter because he was forced to. Because he made a stupid bet.
I was about to say he talked some shit. They called him on it. Now you got to do it.
Legally he had to.
But what he is doing with it, I guess that's more what I mean. Like his approach has been, in my opinion, nefarious.
I would definitely say the idea of
there has to be intent for it to be nefarious. He is incompetent at best.
That's what he wants you to think. That's what
he's doing a damn good job.
So is that, Jeff? Are you saying that the whole idea of like the greatest chick the devil ever played was making you think he didn't exist? Like he's sitting up here playing us this whole time?
Look, man, I don't trust none of them, and I don't trust none of them.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the point I was making is I remember there was a whole conversation at some point, and I don't know, like the technology doesn't seem like it's quite there, but I know there was a whole thing about like having the various robotics and the implants and things like that, and at some point they were working on that. Now, are we even close to being able to roll out something like that? Hell no. Hell no.
Absolutely.
But conceptually,
Roll
you
out?
think
No.
yeah, roll out.
But you don't think it's some beta testing going on?
I think it's somebody out there. I mean, like, look, that little chip that's on our debit cards, right? That's a little NFC chip, and that NFC chip has the information that would be on that whole big magnetic strip that tells that person, this is my card, my account number, blah 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 blah. If you could pop off just that one little chip, that little chip could fit inside your wrist, your palm, your hand. It'd be so small, it'd be so minor. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, then all you would have to do is just like wave your hand to make payments and things like that. Then, of course, when people start, then when people start getting into the conspiracy theories of like, oh, they're trying to program, because now you have that information, and because it's embedded, you don't have, like, my debit card, I can leave it at home and not have that information with me. But if I put that chip in the body, now that chip can be tracked at any point, anytime, anywhere, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the flip side of it. And that's where, you start looking into what people could do with things versus what they should do with things. The technology is heading in that direction. Now, add to
Heading.
it. Oh yeah, it's
Heading.
I don't know anybody with that chip yet.
I seen it. No, you don't know that people got them. I seen and they're doing it in like Sweden.
I know somebody. I know
I
they
saw
have
it
a
somewhere
thing
in Europe. I saw it.
Is that the one where people use it to like get into work, get into the
Yes.
offices, the badge?
Yes.
Yeah. But see, right now,
Crazy.
it's just the
talk.
badge. It's just the badge. It's getting to and from work. And I mean, honestly,
What if you get fired?
then it's just like, I mean, it's no different than the people who get dermal tattoos.
So you don't think, don't you gotta, when you leave a job, you ain't gotta turn your badge back in?
I don't think they're gonna slice you open and take that out. They just go deprogram it.
They slice you open and put it in you.
But that was voluntary. Hey, your badge was a choice, brother.
I hope you read the fine print on the employee handbook.
Right. No, I mean, honestly, I think it's one of those things. But see, there again, and this is when you want to talk about a conspiracy theory, you make it optional for people to get. They get it. They put it in. They fire them. The chip is still there. They're not going to want to pay the money to get it out. They just leave the chip. Now you have a chip at any point. Right. You simply deactivate it. Wait.
I got a dead chip in me.
Who's to say it's dead?
So then I get another job. Then what? They reactivate it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's only one chip activation.
It'd work like a SIM card.
I was about to say, it's just about programming. All you have to do is take your arm, put it inside, it gets reprogrammed, and the chip stays there. Now, the fact that chip can be programmed and deprogrammed, programmed, deprogrammed, programmed, deprogrammed.
So y'all gonna do it?
There are the malcontents at some point that are going to ruin it for everybody, because they always do. It's somebody out there who's got, like you said, a nefarious plan that they're working on, and this is what they're going to do. Once think about it, that will become the standard. At one point, a home phone was the standard. Now cell phones are the standard. People are moving away from home phones. We used to have checks and cash, and now we're going to mostly plastic. You know what I'm saying? And our plastic is tap. I remember when I was first using my phone to make payments, and everybody was blown away that I knew how to use it. Shit wasn't hard, but everybody wanted to make it hard because people couldn't figure out Apple Pay. Now here it is. Apple Pay been out 10 years? Now Apple Pay is accepted everywhere. Because I remember when fast food restaurants weren't taking the shit because people didn't know how to pay it. On top of that, being able to clone the cards and all that's, like scammers are going to do what scammers going to do. They was coming out here cloning cards and this, that, and the other, and they was figuring out how to fake the Apple Pay payments. Okay, cool. I get people not taking Cash App because you could fake all of that stuff. You would sign it to fake accounts and this and that. All of that made sense, and I get why they do what they do. But the bottom line remains, the technology kept moving. And as the technology kept moving, how many times do you be in the store and you see the person in front of you paying with their phone, Eventually, I'm saying the natural progression is to skip that step and go to just having the chip accessible without having to have the hardware.
Why do you have to insert something in me to do that? Why can't it be like a biometric something, like my fingerprint, my eyeball?
The
That's
individual,
what we skipped all that. I remember we watch all these movies where you got to get in the safe and they burn the fingerprints off on Men in Black because fingerprints are the one thing that, you know what I'm saying, that everybody has that's different. That's your chip, right? So why can't we use something that's already on my body? Why do we have to insert technology into me?
because your body can't be programmed.
Hold on, how the fuck do we get to
Exactly.
what is the conversation?
Exactly. You
How
said
did
it,
we
Sam.
get here?
No, I'm not like I don't think this is a right wrong scenario.
Program us.
I'm not saying they're not. I absolutely
cookies
said
at?
the chip. The whole point. I said if you want to make it a conspiracy, that's how you do it. You insert the chip for free, you charge them to take it out. Now you got people running around with this chip just in them.
Mm-hmm.
You make, and then you start making it available. You start making
Sleeper
access to that
cells.
chip. It's like, oh, well, you already have the chip? Oh, well, you can use the chip here. You start making it available. Now it's convenient. Now more people are getting the chip because the chip
Then
is
we only hiring people who have the chip because you have to have a chip to enter our facilities.
And so Jeff won't be working there because Jeff want to use his biometrics.
But no, I don't even
But
want
let
to
me tell you
use
something.
that.
When it comes
Here's my
down to it,
ID.
I would much rather have, because look, we've also seen how many movies have we seen where they cut the damn chip out. At the end of the day, I would much rather have access to the shit and be able to take it out as opposed to using my thumbprint or something that's never going to change and giving that information to them.
Bro, you know what they're going to do? They're going to put that shit right behind some shit you really need. So if you try to cut through it yourself, it's a wrap.
Oh, every time. But I mean, they always make it look so good because it's just, that little glowing light right there.
Yeah, because they want to make you think you can get out of this on your own if you want to.
You wilding, bro.
They showing you DIY future survival hacks, and really people just gonna be cutting their own like it's in your neck. You want to cut something out of your neck? We've been watching movies for 100 years with people getting their throat slit, and that's a fast way to die. But now you telling me, but we put a tracker. It's because it's on the side. You can get in there yourself and get it out if it really became crazy.
You just look, man. I just see her do it the other night. Okay, she used her little blood powers and pulled the thing out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or think about what was it? They have the trackers in the arm. You see them. They have the big air canister gun. They take it. You know what I'm saying? And it like pops it in. James Bond, hell, he had one in the last movies. You know what I'm saying? And what did he do? Took a knife, digs it out, pops it out. And then you take it and look. And when you take it out, you have to put it on the floor. You have to stomp on it really hard. And you got to see the little sparks fly off. That's how you know that it's broken.
And no one will ever know you there because there's not going to be any blood dripping on the floor. They're not going to find the bloody knife you used to cut your chip out.
Look,
they're not going to find the chip because you can't carry the chip with you.
All you got to do is just take like 2 pieces of gauze, wrap it around 2 times, and you good.
I never knew Sam was an advocate for big chip, a big chip lobbyist.
That's what my chip was, and I actually took my chip out the other day. No, I'm not like I'm pro technology all the way. And it's just one of those things where it's like, at this point, at this stage of my life, at this time, I'm
pro tech too, but I don't trust the people behind tech.
What the fuck I do?
No, I mean the people behind tech.
A lot of the creators for some of this tech.
I'm like, hold on, man, wait.
Not everybody in tech.
I'm just trying to work.
There's some people trying to do good things, but the big ones that's really moving the needle. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about your motivations.
Oh yeah.
I think the people who work and do the actual work of creating new things and creating innovative things, like I don't think anybody on like the development level for real is like a person who is just like, I'm creating a chip to like control all the people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think that that's motivation enough for someone to actually succeed at that personally. But I kind of just feel like it always be the people with money that's like, yeah, I could use that. It's like, and that'd be the people who fund it, and that'd be the people who put it out. And so it's like, okay, this is a cool idea. Yeah, it'd be great to not have to like have a wallet and just like you could scan me and know who I am. But like now what you're saying is who I am is this chip. So now somebody want to say I'm somewhere else, it's real easy to do. And it can be, so then you have a room full of people, unless they took a picture of me, a video of me at that exact moment in that exact space, somebody can easily take a GPS, recreate the chip, put some ones and zeros in and make it seem like I was somewhere else doing something else. They can use AI, recreate my voice and have me confessing to committing a crime and doing that. Like, that's the stuff I'd be worried about.
I mean,
Because
this
it's
whole
like,
scenario you just created, like, damn, bro. Like,
but like that's real.
I
They're
mean,
gonna
wait
be
a
doing
minute.
that to
And
people.
the sad part is, it's like everything you just said is doable.
Yeah.
Doable right now.
Yep.
I
They
mean,
got
this
us.
exact moment. Because like there's a so oftentimes when we get off the show, Jeff and I talk, and I'm always telling him, like, some of the different things that I see. And because I looked at this one AI editing software, like all of them started advertising. They're like, oh, that's his hot button right there. He'll check it out. And I'm notorious for like you show me like the little mobile games, I'll download the game, play it for a few minutes. If I like it, I'll keep it. If not, okay, we can uninstall it, we can delete it. But it's already embedded and the algorithm is changed, and so they know how to advertise to me. And there's one that's like it talks about being able to automate content creation. And literally what it does is, from what I can see, this one kind of creeped me out, so I haven't messed with it yet. But from what I can see, it looks like you can write up a script, and of course that's just like you let the AI determine the parameters and it actually writes the script. It's probably going to have like a 3D scan, or like, you upload a bunch of pictures or something like that. Take a picture from the side, from the other side, a bunch of pictures from the front, top, down, left, right. And you probably have to read a speech. Once you do that, it can automatically create 30-second clips for you based on the parameters that you set. The AI will generate the script. The image that you took can use your likeness and create you talking. So based on what you just said, yeah. And as far as cloning the chip, I mean, hell, that's why we had to get RFD wallets and stuff like that, so people couldn't scan our cards.
So when I'm gonna get an RFD jacket,
Get an RFD, no, just RFD gloves.
so I gotta walk around with gloves on all day.
I mean, bro, we're getting to the point now. It's like you got to walk around with you got to have a lock on your phone. You got to have, the privacy screen protector.
I don't got none of that.
See,
You got to lock on their phone. Everybody got to lock on their phone.
Oh,
The
like
phone
yeah,
requires you.
No, when it turned off, yeah. I mean,
That's like the phone requires
I thought
you.
I thought you meant like an extra lock of some sort. I don't know. I know you be knowing about technology.
Nah. I mean, like, once you unlock the phone, there are different apps that you can use if you wanted to have content that was on your phone but not visible directly. There are different apps and stuff that you could have for that. In fact, a lot of them have them like kind of built into the phones now. They have like, privacy modes and this and that, and you can sign in and you can have stuff set to a locker and not have access to that content. So, there's tons of different securities out there and available. But yeah, I don't know how one would properly secure their physical chip. Because I mean, it's like, I don't know, when you watch something like Enemy of the State or what was the one with Shia LaBeouf? Eagle Eye, I think it was. You know, you take all of these movies and it comes down to say, like, look, bro, if they want to frame you for some shit, they can have you there whether you was there or not. Period. Okay. It doesn't matter if your chip was there, if your body was there, whatever the case would be. All they got to do is say, okay, he's how tall, he weighs how much, he got a beard. Okay. Oh, we'll put a hat on him and we'll make the film grainy. Cause like, why does every bank foot, bruh, you can buy every TikTok shop video I see, or every like advertisement I see right now, they got cameras with night vision doing 100 megapixel, this, that, and the other. My security camera, I can see a person's face walking up my driveway. But if you rob a bank, the camera that they caught your footage on from the bank is grainy and blurry and looks like they took that thing out of focus Polaroid. And that's what's going to pop up. Police are asking for your help in identifying this suspect. I'd be like, why? Y'all mean to tell me that was the best photo y'all got? Unless, I mean, if you got dude like completely covered up, he got on a ski mask and sunglasses and a hat. Okay,
the fuck
fine.
you expect me to do?
Right, like,
That
but
could be
why is
any
this
It
bank?
could look like a mannequin.
Right. Why is this bank out here running around protecting all this money with such outdated cameras when everybody got like the top of the line cameras available? Just, it makes no sense.
Because who are banks run by?
I mean,
And what do people who run banks not like to do? Spend their money on other people.
Mm.
They don't care about your money as long as it's making them money. They ain't got their own money in them banks.
their money is
The money is offshore.
offshore accounts, Swiss accounts and such. A lot of it's out of there because it's always like in some tax-free location. I honestly believe it's a lot of people who like really have money in the safe like that, though.
Facts, bruh. Gold bars, doubloons, all kinds of stuff.
Like, and when the shit hits the fan, they're gonna run to the house, rip that picture down, turn the dial, boom, 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 grab the key out of the safe, run
Bro,
over to the bed, flip that bad boy, and they got a big floor safe.
Bro,
Pull a John Wick on
they
you.
already got all that stuff in a underground bunkers in Montana.
Fallout shelters.
All them paintings on the wall in the museums are copies.
So the bunker in Montana, that's a virtual time capsule, essentially.
No, Google, like, you should Google about like rich people and how much money they have been spending on like doomsday bunkers over the past like 10 years. It's an astronomical amount of money that could have easily gone to help people prevent a future apocalypse. But cool, man. It's like, if you guys gonna really just live underground and eat canned peaches, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's one of them things where I feel like they saw that Brendan Fraser movie and was like, we could do it.
Was it Pleasantville? Not Pleasantville.
Nah,
Blast from the Past.
yeah. I knew it was some kind of rocket thing. I wanted to say Failure to Launch, but that was Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Also, not a good movie.
Oats Pats. Huh. So I'm looking at this one. This is The Mirror. Who is this? I don't know. Just whoever the Mirror is, whatever publication. The Mirror. The Heart of Britain. That's what it says here. The Mirror. Heart of Britain. But incredible underground doomsday bunker has 4 cozy apartments to survive the apocalypse. An underground doomsday bunker in Paradise Valley, Montana, near Yellowstone National Park, split into
Told
4
you I ain't
apartments.
crazy, man.
Split into 4 apartments, and they're on the market for anyone who fancies a slightly different
my
home
God.
location.
Sorry, I have basketball in the background. Somebody just dumped on somebody.
And 3 of the 4 shelters are around 2,500 square feet, and the 4th is bigger. Each separate shelter has a basement where you can store food and other essentials. The bunker is on the market for 1.725 million. Huh. It's chump change to some of these millionaires out there. Huh. Might look more into that later. Wow. So, of course, because this is a Britain publication, I'm looking at the comments underneath. The last
Yeah,
place
they hate us.
right. The last place you could live and feel safe would be anywhere near Yellowstone Park. Volcanologists, geologists, and historians all say that the volcano under Yellowstone is about 1,000 years overdue for its eruption. Somebody else saying they wish they could afford to rent it out to vacationers. That would be cool. Nothing above ground obstructing the beautiful views. Perfect Airbnb. And then this one apartment each for Harry, Meghan, Gail, and Doria. Wow. And lastly, if that's all you had to look forward to, I would rather not bother. I mean, I know. I look more into these bunkers. I mean, I know there's always been like preppers. There was a whole show, Doomsday Preppers and whatnot. There are, let's see, in the Smithsonian Mag, credible source here. There are 1,700 Doomsday Vaults. And let's okay, so let me mark this article for further reading. I'll look into it. I'm curious. You got my attention now. Declaring that
They either
here
gonna
is
go in their vaults or Elon gonna figure out how to get them off this. Elon and what's his name, Bezos. They gonna space race everybody off this thing. Not everybody. I ain't going.
built
I'll
in
stay here and
19
rebuild.
The Global Seed Vault gets its millionth donation and a $13 million update. Built in 1998, the vault safeguards the world's food storage in case of a global disaster. Buried deep within the mountain in Svalbard, a Norwegian archipelago east of Greenland, is a repository of seeds and plants stored as a backup in case of global disaster.
Which is a concept they also continue in Star Trek.
Senior scientist of the Crop Trust. It now stores 1,059,646 deposits, from Estonian onion potato to the barley used to brew Irish beer. Such crop diversity is essential to safeguard against potential impacts of climate change, giving scientists the best chance to ensure future generations to thrive. Researchers used about 90,000 seeds from the vault for the first time in 2015 after the war in Syria caused damage to a seed bank near Aleppo. Most have now been replaced. Okay, that's interesting. Because there would be no need to have such a large food vault unless there was going to be enough people to go with those vaults. All right, Jeff. Not like I needed another rabbit hole to dive down.
Literally.
Okay, okay. We'll come back to this a little later. But yeah, they're now offering a virtual tour as of March 16th, 2023. The Smithsonian Magazine was given a virtual tour of the Seed Vault. That's pretty dope. Just as a concept. And then here's a Doomsday Community in 2021. Five years. Survival time. Tube lights or LEDs. Proper preparations. You should still be able, without having natural sunlight and such, realistically survive more than 5 years. Huh. Doomsday bunkers only need to be about 10 feet deep. Huh. Not what I would have thought. I mean, that's literally just under surface level. Okay, here we go. Here's the article I think you were talking about. The super rich preppers planning to save themselves from the apocalypse. Now, how that relates to having a chip that pays for everything in your wrist. But then, but that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about like some of these conversations, because when I was talking with my cousin earlier, we literally the conversation started with we were talking something about sports. We were talking about football, and I had made reference to how fandom, like when people are sports fans, it seems automatic that they're susceptible to other types of fandom very easily, because when you get somebody that's like willing to dress up in the team jersey, paint their face and this and that, what I'm saying, they go to the game. I'm like, honestly, that's no different than the people who go to the parades and dress up as their favorite character. It's cosplay technically. And any form of fandom like that, the people who are huge fans of sports are probably one of the largest consuming markets from a marketing standpoint, because you can go anywhere and find a football jersey, a basketball jersey, what I'm saying? Just an athletic attire sells always. Excuse me. You can always find that stuff. You can probably find as many like we're here in Georgia. You could probably find something that says Georgia Bulldogs before you can find something that says Marvel, before you find something that says DC, before you find Batman. You get a Georgia Bulldogs hat, cup, mug, sticker, license plate, whatever. Now, if you could figure out a way to market the same materials to that group of people, you have buying clientele. And so that's where, and it's like, that's where the formula comes in. And that's why you see the commercials with like Captain America stopping the robbers who's trying to escape in the Buick and stuff like that. They want that. And as we were talking about the Marvels, the movie The Marvels get ready to come up, he was like, yeah, you're about to start seeing commercials with Miss Marvel and this, that. And it was like, they may not spend the marketing budget there, but it's definitely coming. Somehow, as we were still talking about sports, got to talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. That conversation led to just the popularity, like how there's always somebody that gets picked. And right now it's Travis Kelce. He's the one that's been picked. And because he's the one that's been picked, everything is like focusing on him and what he's doing. And it's only because, again, it's all how they can market it. When people are watching, go ahead.
I'll say, as a sports fan as well, I think that I do want to make sure it's very clear that Travis Kelce is like a phenomenal football player. Like he's had tremendous amount of success. He's won Super Bowl.
A lot of the
rings.
Reason that they won last Super Bowl.
Yeah, so he, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like just for the record, it's important to preface it. Like she ain't picked, like it wasn't just no Joe Blow off the street average like white dude who got picked. He's like literally the best at what he does and probably one of the most, if not the most valuable player to the best team. Well, no, second most valuable player to the best team in the sport for the past 5 years, essentially.
Okay.
So
I was thinking at least 3, but okay, 5 years, yeah.
They won 2 rings. They lost 1. They had a couple like bad playoff exits, but they were very good during the regular season. So just like if you were to take the average, like if you were to take the average of the last 5 years, like Kansas City would probably be the best of all those teams. But yeah, go ahead, go back to your point. Sorry.
No, I mean, and honestly, that is kind of the point. Like, and this is speculation more than anything. Since we're on a whole conspiracy theory moment right now, it's speculation more than anything, and just like my own personal speculation here. But I believe having Taylor Swift be a huge football fan is a way to further increase interest in football. And it is more about marketing, because right now Taylor Swift is without a doubt one of the biggest names on the planet in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? And I had a whole conversation with somebody the other day, and I was just like, I just need somebody to explain to me. And this is no hate against Taylor Swift. None at all. What is the appeal? What is it about Taylor that makes her so the it girl?
She is a musical Mary Sue.
Okay.
Like she is like when you look at like let's talk about like, when you place her up against her contemporaries, right? Beyonce. Like it's a lot of beautiful women on this planet, but it's Beyonce when it comes to physical attributes. Then you talk about the singing, the dancing, the performing, the showmanship, the bouncing back from public like embarrassment in her relationship, all these other things like that, right? Like there's a story there, but it is a story that not a lot of the mainstream core buying audience can personally identify with, which is literally like tween girls. Like tween girls buy more shit than anybody on this planet per capita. And there are more white tween girls in America. So when you look at tween girls, like, yeah, Taylor Swift's like 30 something, but she still comes across as girl next door. Like even when she's gone into her like womanly phase, it's still a very like innocent, like, not overly sexy, not overly racy. It's like she's Ellie Mae Clampett. I've never really heard her like talk about much. I'm assuming she's got to be somewhat intelligent to like write at least just to write songs. Like I respect that, but she's basically she's Ellie Mae Clampett, and a lot of girls look at her and it's like I can identify with that. I can't identify with like the overly glamorous like black curvation. Like I can listen to the music and I can feel that, but even the music, like that core buying tween white girl audience can sing along to Beyonce, but they can really sing along to
They
Taylor.
sing
Because how
Taylor with their
Taylor
chest
sings-
out.
Yeah, right. Because the chest match. You know what I'm saying? Like
Somebody was actually telling me that as far as like her songwriting, that the simplicity of her lyrics make it relatable to so many people. And I think that kind of ties in what you were saying as far as like, unless you've experienced some of the things that Beyonce is saying, you don't know that vernacular. You don't understand what that means. Some of that terminology might be foreign to you. Whereas Taylor talks about like the most common shit, and it is relatable to like everybody would have no choice. If you understand the English language, you would understand what Taylor's singing about. You may not have experienced it as directly, but because it is like so simple, there's a certain beauty in that simplicity. And it's obviously been highly effective for her. And it's, what I'm saying? I don't think there's any, not, and it's not to, make an attack at her lyricism, because much like you said, I ain't never wrote no song. She's wrote a song. So, credit to her for that. It's way better than any of the little poems I called myself trying to write when I was a kid, and it is still done in a way that works musically. So, because there's plenty of times where, people have written, people have written really good poems, but you can't put that to music for it to have the effect that you want it to have. It has to just be spoken word or something along those lines.
and yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like she is creating for a demographic, and her demographic is women, and I think a certain subsection of women identify probably more with her. Man, it's probably not even subject matter, but just sonically, it's not appealing to me personally. Like I've listened to a few songs and I've just kind of been like, not for me. But it's not like I don't think the music should exist. And I think just out of sheer popularity of it is enough like reasoning for, in my opinion, for it to be considered for all the awards it's considered. I mean, I know a lot of people do get kind of hoity-toity about the art of it all, but really, like at the end of the day, any art that's made is made to connect with people, and so no matter what you might feel about it technically, the end of the day, like it's resonating with people in a way that a lot of the most technical musicians struggle to do with the average person. So it's like, what are you making the art for? Are you making the art for art's sake, or are you making the art to like help people? And it's like one of the things that I do know is that she writes these songs where she's honest about her feelings and about her experiences so that other people can feel like they're not alone when they're experiencing those things, and that they can be honest about them and not have to feel like they need to hide anything about themselves. Like she's all of her relationships are very out in the open and very public, which means all of the breakups are very out in the open and very public. And she's endured a lot of like scrutiny that's frankly like not really fair, but she's taking it in stride. And I think a lot of people can look at her as an example. And when they're, she is one of those artists because she's writing about her life, you feel like you know her, you feel like you've connected with her. And I think that's really one of those things, like as an artist, when you look at Beyonce, when you look at Michael Jackson, when you look at Prince, when you look at Stevie Wonder, like all these great artists who you've grown up with over time, they've grown up in front of you and they matured and continue. I mean, even I would even throw somebody like a Tyler the Creator in there, where it's like the evolution of the sound, the evolution, the maturity of an artist that comes with time and experience. You know, as a listener, we get to benefit from that. And you know, I think Taylor Swift's listeners have been able to benefit from her and her growth of how she's chosen to, you know, grow up and not hide her relationships and not hide, you know, what she wants. And I mean, you know, it's an interesting story for them, but that's just, you know, I just choose not to invest. For me, it's like it's always got to start with the music. Like
Right.
the story can be cool, you can be interesting, you know, beautiful gowns, all that. But like if when I listen to the music, if I don't feel nothing, then like it's just a nice little footnote.
I mean, it's obviously been one or two that are catchy. I mean, I don't know the names necessarily, but you know, it's like I'm familiar with the um, never getting back together, shake it off. There's one about um, she's a cheerleader and I'm on the bleachers. Um, you know, so like I said, it's there's definitely something there, and I think the catchiness of it, and I think that's why nothing else people at least recognize, even if you're not a fan of the music, you recognize who she is, and you can kind of keep up and follow along with the story. And it's like, you know, she's had all these high profile relationships, like you mentioned. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, she's dating John Mayer, she's dating the Jonas Brothers, she's dating this person, she's dating that person. Like you said, now she's dating Travis Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? Like the tight end of the man has had a phenomenal run. And like I said, one of the major factors in the Super Bowl win last year. And like I said, I think he was already on a rising star. You know what I'm saying? They were kind
I
of
mean, I
putting,
think the reality of it is a lot of these people get put in position to encounter one another because of business relationships. So I feel like everybody's looking at it like, oh, this is just like a plant, a ploy. It's like, first of all, who cares? Like, they're two people who are consenting adults who are doing whatever they want to do, right?
right,
Nobody's come out and said, like, explicitly, like, yes, we are together. Everything that we're seeing kind of is making it seem like there's something going on. She keep going to all the games. Her and Patrick Mahomes' wife got a secret handshake they did on TV the other day. Like,
right,
she seems to be getting very embedded into like Kansas City Chiefs culture as a whole.
right,
But also, like, if you've known anything about how she moves in other relationships, that's what she does. She gets embedded. She loves hard. She jumps. You know, she's got like millions and millions of dollars of safety net. And at the end of the day, the worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get a platinum selling album out of a bunch of songs I wrote about Travis Kelsey and how that relationship went. So, I mean, I think it's been interesting watching the reaction of football fans to that being inserted into the football games.
right.
And I think that, you know, we've seen it before. Jessica Simpson, when she was dating Tony Romo, there was a lot of that, and a lot of people blaming her for the Cowboys losing because Tony Romo wasn't focused on what he was supposed to be doing. We see that with Aaron Rodgers and some of his previous relationships. Like, I think that the problem is men. Any fan group that is just dominated by like dudes being dudes, whether that be video games, whether that be comics, whether that be movies, whether that be sports. Anytime anything comes in and like just disrupts whatever they think the thing should be all about, which is usually including queer people, including people of color, including women, they get up in arms about it because they feel like this is some sacred space that's like just for them. And it's like at the end of the day, fam, if women didn't like football, the NFL would be bankrupt. You dig what I'm saying? And it's been done that way without really any sort of real effort being given into like giving respect and thanks to the female subsection of that audience. And I say that across the board in all of those other types of fandom that we notice. The same reason people are mad at Taylor Swift being shown at a Chiefs game are the people who want to go on and like downrate the Marvels movie before it even came out because they don't like Brie Larson saying, I wish there were more women reporters for me to be able to talk to about this movie about a female superhero who is basically overcoming like being gaslit through the whole movie. Like,
Yeah.
You don't understand why she might want to talk to a woman about that. You don't understand why Daisy Ridley might want to have a conversation with a woman about the growth of her character through the Star Wars series. Like, you understand why women musicians might want to sit down and talk to women journalists because they are chronicling things that they have experienced as women, and therefore maybe someone who has experienced similar things might be able to like connect with them on that and get a better interview out of it for everybody, for those men to
maybe
be able
ask
to
the
read.
right questions and avoid the wrong questions and such. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that really it just boils down to like fandoms and like people just making the active choice to suck sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
again,
like you really like, okay, so they showed Taylor Swift on TV. You tweeting about it, you think that's gonna make them stop? No, you know why? Because you know what was up? Ratings. You know what's up? Travis Kelce jersey sales. Like, and so you know what's up? Money.
as
So you know what they're
always,
gonna keep doing?
follow the
Showing
dollar.
Taylor Swift on TV.
Follow the dollar. And then on top of that, I mean, the trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? When you have and Star Wars is a good example. You know what I'm saying? When you have a character like Rey, Mary Sue that she may be, whether people love or dislike the character as a whole, you know what I'm saying? She does do something for the fandom in general. Now there's little girls who may have wanted to be more interested in Star Wars, but didn't know that they could be interested in Star Wars because there was only one character for them to be. They had to be Princess Leia. Now they can be Leia, they can be Jen Erso, they can be Rey, they can be Mon Mothma. You know what I'm saying? They can be Ahsoka, they can be Sabine, they can be Hera. You know what I'm saying? Like now that there's so many other characters and it's not just the same 4 or 5 people, it expands out. And then when you have the character like Rey, you know what I'm saying? She's a great role model, if you will, for little girls. She's determined. She doesn't give up. She fights hard. You know what I'm saying? She goes for what she believes in, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's like you now have parents who may not have been interested in Star Wars for themselves, but they're more familiar with Star Wars because they have a daughter that's interested in Star Wars, because they have a son that's interested in Star Wars. They have these other family, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're getting more exposure to it. And then lo and behold, it turns out, oh, you know what? I kind of like that one. I kind of like that one. You know, same thing with, I mean, it was almost too little too late, but you know what I'm saying? They could have done more with Marvel, you know? And so now when we get around to Miss Marvel, we get around to what we had: Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, WandaVision
I think I'm gonna head out.
All right, bro.
Yeah, a little tired. I'm about to go to bed. I'll see y'all later.
Problem, man. I'll let you later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we had something, you know, when Miss Marvel came out, we had that TV show, you know what I'm saying? It was on at a period where Marvel was trying to begin their new setup, you know, and because it was focused on a younger demographic, because it was focused on a traditionally different character, a lot of people came right in and didn't like it, didn't want it. Nope, not for me. Don't like this. Don't like it. And again, it was like not because the show wasn't good, just because it wasn't what they were accustomed to, what they were used to, what they wanted to see. And so, it's like we've gotten to the point now where the expectations for a lot of people are such that any project that has the Marvel logo has to be Avengers level. It has to be Infinity War level. If it doesn't come and hit me as hard as Infinity War, I don't want to wait 8 years for anything to set up and be the culmination of a story. Give it to me right now because I know you can do it. And, it's like when you watch something that we've never had before, like a She-Hulk, we never had a show like a She-Hulk. We never had a show like a WandaVision. We never had a show like a Miss Marvel. You know what I'm saying? And all of these come after we've had this huge cinema, because there was nothing technically prior to those movies that was required viewing as far as the cinematic universe. All of the Disney Plus shows and stuff came after. Everything there is post snap. So we've had like all of the big moments, all of the major events, everything that was important has already happened, and that series has closed. And now here we are presenting something technically new, doing something different, and I still want that. I want that over there. Don't give me anything new, but I'm going to bitch and complain if you don't give me something new. But don't give me anything new. Give me the same thing you've been giving me and do it the same way. Give me the same characters. I'm tired. Hell, there was a comment somebody made in our group earlier. And for those of you who are wondering about the group, that's going to be Grown A Geeks. Click that QR code there right there in the corner. You can join, be a part of our group, and hear some of these same discussions. But no, somebody made a post where they were talking about Chris Evans, his latest movie, and how it got like really poor ratings and things like that. And then the conversation was like, well, I guess he's got to put on the red, white, and blue again. And it's like, no, we don't. First of all, he's sitting pretty on that money. So if he never does it
You don't
again,
got to do nothing.
it's like he done made enough money that he could go and do some artsy fartsy stuff if he wants to. He can go do a script just because he liked it. It doesn't have to be a great movie. He ain't looking to make bank. He got money. Secondly, a lot of the stuff he's done has been really good and enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to use it, well, as much as I hate this phrase, it's been good for what it is, But it's like when you watch a movie like The Gray Man or Ghosted, these are not like.
Yeah, like if you watch Captain America and you're like, oh, sweet, I'm going to watch this other movie with Captain America and then it's a rom-com, you're like, nah, man.
That's on you.
It's like not Captain America. It's like you think this dude supposed to play Captain America the rest of your life, his life. Also, like these are the types of people where it's like, so you don't like nothing that's about women. You don't like nothing that's about. You don't like any sort of media, any sort of music, movies, TV that's not just like a bunch of people who look like you and your friends only. Like those are the kinds of people where I'm like, I don't even waste my time like trying to convince them of anything, because it's like you don't even live in a enough of the world for me to be able to communicate with you. But I would have to dumb down the way I talk, and I would have to dumb down all of the spaces and things that I can go to in order to like make my points with you, because you have that much of a cultural deficiency compared to me, who has consumed probably most of the things that you have, plus other things.
Right.
And I think that's, when you get into like these conversations about, rifts between communities, whether it's gender wise, orientation wise, religion, race, really it boils down to a lack of exposure and compassion.
A lot of people have
diversity. I mean, it's like you can have diversity, but it's like, are people allowed to be themselves in that space? Or am I a black dude who's here to be black, but a black version of the white dude you really wanted to hire, but you don't like how it looks when it's just, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to hear nobody mouth when they see it's just a bunch of y'all, quote unquote. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
even with that, you could still hire that black guy who fits the target of what you're looking for because he is one of y'all. I mean, you have those scenarios as well.
Yeah.
And if that is the extent of your understanding, then you're still really not getting any true exposure. And that's why I say, like, when I say diversity, it has a certain connotation just in how it's used in most formats in society. But just like when you say diversify your portfolio, you can't put all of your coins into this one bank and then be like have no understanding of how any of the other banks operate. You got to put a couple of coins here, a couple of coins here, a couple of coins there. You got to get, some shares of this stock and some shares of that stock. You have to like spread it out, diversify, try new things, see different things, and experience different things. If you're always getting the exact same thing, the first time you get something new, of course you're not going to like it because it's unfamiliar and new is scary. New can be great and it can be really good. And if you were exposed to things more frequently and you took chances and you opened up and you saw something other than the same thing constantly, this stuff wouldn't shock you as much when it comes around. And yeah, that is it's unfortunate, And somehow there was a conversation with my cousin that led into all of that. That led into all of that. But yeah, I mean, it again, the conversation I had with him earlier, it started off kind of the same way, and it really came back to like no gatekeeping, and because again, I was talking about the fandom and how people were feeling some kind of way about Taylor Swift, and it's like, here you have this football player who was already doing great things, and like I said, one of the major parts of that Super Bowl win. Now he's in a high profile relationship. All of a sudden, he starts being on camera way more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like now all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's get him for Saturday Night Live. Y'all didn't want to get him last year when he won the Super Bowl. That wasn't the time to get him. Now's the time to get him because he's hot now, and it's just like because he's in this high profile relationship, or they're speculating about the high profile relationship, it's just getting a lot more attention. And because that attention is there, people are finding a way to make a buck off of it. And they're capitalizing on it. And like you said, the Kelsey jerseys are up. And of course we're gonna see now when you do the math on all of it, and I have to give credit to my cousin for putting this one together. His theory was, Chiefs get to the Super Bowl. The relationship holds strong through that. And the next thing we hear about is Taylor Swift doing the Super Bowl. That's owned, of course, like Jay-Z's in charge of whoever does the Super Bowl shows and such. Now we end up with a collab by, you know what I'm saying? We end up with a collab between Taylor and Beyonce. And of course, I was like, well, how are we going to get a collab with Taylor and Beyonce? You talk about like the two biggest names. It would have to be Beyonce featuring Taylor. He went on to say that, they're going to end up doing they would have a tour, and it would be like the biggest promoted tour ever. It would break all these records, blah, blah, blah. And what did he call it? He had a name for it because it was when someone spoke with Taylor Swift, she had said that Beyonce was like her, I want to say, shining example or something like that. And it was like, this is going to be the shining example tour. Taylor would headline some shows. Beyonce would headline some shows. that would be how you keep the riff down, and it would be based on like the different areas, but ultimately it would end with the collaborative song that they're going to put together. And I was just like, that is he's he has a little bit more knowledge in the music industry than I would. He's got that insight, so to speak. He would be able to see it the same way you would be able to see it, with like that marketing and having those inside connections, knowing how stuff works. I was like, that all sounds crazy to me until I like kind of thought about it, and I was like, that's a lot of money to be made in that.
Yeah, it's all strategic, man. It's like none of this stuff just happens. And I think that's the thing that people don't want to, they're holding on to this idea that like in the arts it's about talent, it's about meritocracy. If you just make stuff you love, people will find you, and the good things will happen, et cetera, et cetera. But really, it's like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have the same representation in terms of like they're both signed to CAA, I believe. So it's like they're going to be in the same room together, and the CAA is going to be looking at their clients and their rosters and their opportunities and saying like, is there a way we can make more money by putting these together? So I think really, but that does not also mean that they don't have real chemistry and they don't have real feelings or affections for one another. It's just, the
That's an added
they
bonus.
didn't meet at a coffee shop like maybe you met your girlfriend, or they didn't meet on a dating app.
Grocery store, actually. Yeah, grocery
Yeah.
store.
Yeah. So I just feel like all in all, man, do I care either way? No, not really. But I do think that it is part of like a ploy, like not necessarily like them dating, but like showing her as much as they show her is about bringing in a new audience.
Yeah.
Taking the game overseas to London and therefore playing games at 9:30 in the morning, which is generally a time where a lot of people who watch soccer would be watching soccer at that time, because most football games don't start till 1 o'clock Eastern time. Now you have multiple weeks where we have a morning game, and now people are going to be getting up at 9:30 in the morning expecting to see football in the morning. So it's about getting more customers. It's about snuffing out competition. Everything is a strategic move that's all about not only making more money, but making sure you are hoarding the money. And sometimes a lot of people in charge philosophy in terms of them making more money is also the only way you can make more money is by blocking other people from getting theirs. So it's really sad that there's people who have to go through their life like that, honestly. Like you can't just see a woman cheering her man on, and like there was a stat that they put up during the game that was just like Travis Kelce's stats before dating Taylor and after.
The
And
number of
everybody's
yards.
like, oh, people acting like this is a real thing. And I was like, man, anybody who play ball at the park, no, you play better when your girls show up to the park. Like everybody do everything better when they girls show up to watch them do it.
Because let me tell you something. The worst thing that can happen is for somebody to be like, man, you let them do that in front of your girl? Like,
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna take that hit and stay on the ground, take that extra breath when your girl watching.
Right.
You gotta hop up real quick and toss the ball back, and you go
Into
cry on
the
the sidelines.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, that's universal, And to me it was a very interesting thing. It was interesting to see, and it was something that I could pick up on and pick apart a little bit more naturally than some of the other things that are in the news, because like it's some shit I don't even want to talk about no more. I'm done with it. I'm done. I don't care, and I'm moving on. And then, I think perhaps the only other thing that's out there that would be interesting, and this is not a tonight conversation, but I got to figure out. I gotta get the list. We got to get the first date locations list, and we may have to dissect that. Now, see about I see if we can't get some special guests on for that one. I see with and because on the one hand, I think some shit is made just for the point of conversation. Doesn't really fall into the geeky category, but I'll figure out a way to make it geeky. But that one's interesting as well. But yeah, this Travis Kelsey thing, like I said, sports to me is a fandom that I understand. I enjoy sports. I am more of a I'm probably a little bit more technical and like I, I care about the playoffs. Regular season is great, but the playoffs is when it matters. That's when I like really pay attention. But it's been some really good games here lately, and of course I've tuned into a lot of those. Um, okay, that would be a way to do it. A list for geeks. I feel like a lot of the things that were on the list would be the same things, like you know. But it's just the idea that well, Mark, we'll talk offline because I don't want to get segue into that. Um, but yeah, we could definitely make a list and go down that rabbit hole.
Just the list, wherever she want to go.
Right.
If you can't afford it, don't go out with her. Move on.
Simple as that. But I think there gets a little bit more into it. You know what I'm saying? It's that first date, that sort of thing. But I don't know. There's different opinions about this and that, and I don't know. I've been married quite some time, so my opinion is a little obsolete anyway.
Same.
Because I'm basing it off of like old knowledge and information. I don't know how this new shit go. So because I'm like part of me. See, damn it, no, stop. We're not doing this tonight.
Yeah.
We will pick it up on another time, and because I'm sure it'll be talked about in a week. We can bring it back up. Right when it dies, we'll breathe new life into it. But I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. And
Yeah.
any thoughts on trying to make a scary movie tomorrow?
I absolutely will not be there.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm. And it was funny because I've had a couple other people ask about it. And I admitted I was like, this is probably not the best movie choice to do one of our first get-togethers. We've had some other movies that would have probably worked out a little bit better. It's like, but you know what? Got to start somewhere. And
It is what it is.
it is what it is. So after this one, we will probably hit some more. And I think the next one I will probably do it like Atlantic Station, try to put it like downtown Atlanta, make it a little bit more centrally convenient. We'll go about it that way. Used to have them all the time because I also used to go to a lot of movies, so haven't been out quite as much. So I was looking forward to it. She was like, that's where they were going. They'd already bought their tickets, so I just created the event around what they were doing. That's why, because they had already bought their tickets and they was already going. And I just created the event around.
Now, how about this, Mark? Next time a movie coming out, you pick a movie place and plan it and make the event, and people will show up.
There you go. And like I said, my suggestion, I say make it downtown. That way it's kind of like, I want to say equal for everybody, but it's probably not because Atlanta may be further away than some of the others. But yeah, I do like the Regal Atlantic Station. They got a couple of good theaters. They have the bar, they have the food, the whole nine. You can do it pretty big, decent size. Almost every screen is big. And it's not as hard to get the wife out to Atlantic Station. Gives her something to do. I mean, you could do it. No, Atlantic Station is Regal, not AMC. I have to look that up. I feel fairly confident that that's Regal and not AMC. But nonetheless, we'll check on that later. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I was not expecting to do a 3-hour tonight. Thought we were going to do about a 2-hour, but had a whole separate little hour here. I may even like cut that off and make it its own show. Because I say that every week and then I get sidetracked and never sit down in front of my computer to do any of this stuff. But I may actually have some time this week because I've got to, I'm probably going to have to get stitches when I was taking out my chip. So it was easy to do. Just pop it right on out. Anyway, man, been a pleasure. We'll get together soon. We'll talk about some things. And everybody can click that QR code. That will take you to everywhere you can find us on all our social medias. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Grown A Geeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on everything. I'm Elder Geek Sam. That is jpnt17.com for your exclusive merchandise. He's Jeff. I'm Sam. And we are out of here. Peace.